I think it was Drew Mitchell, one of those boys, swung around and just hit me straight there.
Oh.
Snapped it. See how it's like...
Yeah, you can see it's all like crooked.
It's all crooked. And then, mate, I was laying in bed that night. I said to Courtney, I said to my missus, I said, something's happened here. I've got to go.
You would have felt like you ruined your brain.
It did. And then I took off. I said, Courtney, because it was down at Byron. I said, Court, that's it. I'm going straight to the hospital. This is like 1:30 in the morning.
Yeah.
She thought that I was just playing it up.
Yeah.
And then I went in and saw them. They gave me a shitload of painkillers. And I was like, this is not happening. Went back to our campsite because we were just staying at Byron Bay campsite.
Yeah.
Was laying in the camper trailer. I was like, nah, cool, this is no good. And then went and got some scans and it snapped.
Oh.
Like fucking snapped and it just sits over there on one side now.
Fuck.
I know.
That sounds like torture.
It's torture. It was torture. It felt dead set. Felt like my head was going to fall off.
You know what I did? I had like a footy injury from when I was like playing juniors. It was off a kickoff and I ran and I tackled it. I got to the dude first and then one of the other boys come and was like kind of second on the tackle. Yep. So I'd had both my hands behind his kneecaps and then I'd get like pushing and pulling and then old mate come in behind me. It lifted him off his feet and then I had old mate's weight landed on my back and his knee on my sternum? And I fucking cracked my sternum. And man,
nothing worse.
Oh, dude, I was maybe 14 or something like that. Yeah. And dude, I remember laying in bed, fucked. And like, so we didn't go to the hospital for it, like, because I thought that it was my back. Like, I thought I'd hurt my back.
Yep.
So like, anyway, I didn't go to hospital. Went home, and I was just in so much pain, like excruciating pain. And then the next day, Mum takes me to the chiropractor. So I've got this fucking chiropractor, like. And then anyway, I was just like, I was like, mate, we got to like stop. We can't do it. Got me on the X-ray machine at the chiropractor, and he's like, dude, you've fucking broken your sternum.
And here he is trying to get back,
fully trying to like click my back, dude. It was the gnarliest pain I've ever felt in my life.
Hey, but I've cracked one of my ribs playing.
Yeah.
And I've done my rib cartilage before.
Yeah.
I'd rather crack 5 ribs than do one rib cartilage.
Yeah.
Because what happens, it just keeps on popping out.
In and out, in and
so
out,
you
in and out.
You're laying in bed, you get up, pops out.
Yeah.
You go to the toilet, you're doing a shit.
Yeah.
Pops out.
Yeah.
You sneeze, it pops out.
How's it when you do the sneeze? Like, and you're just like trying to manipulate your sneeze.
And you're cursing yourself. You're going, this is going to hurt. This is going to hurt. This is going to hurt.
Fucking hell.
Nothing worse. Absolutely nothing worse. I did my first rib cartilage when I was playing against Penrith. And I was like, holy shit. Like Luke Prittis, he's landed down on me. I just felt... And it sort of just still sits out now to the day.
Yeah, some of it, they never go all the way back.
It never goes back in. And I could feel the rib pop out, and then the 2 ribs that crushed it just hit together. And I was like, nah. I just went like that, waved to the trainer, said, I'm out, no more.
Get me off.
Get me off.
So, all right, that's a good lead in. That you've got that version of pain, which is pretty fucking acute. What was the pain that you experienced over 70 days of walking from Cairns to the Gold Coast?
Yeah, it was a rewarding pain.
Okay.
If there is such thing as a rewarding pain, I think the hardest. I've said it before. The hardest part of my day was the first 2 minutes I woke up. That was the hardest part mentally.
Yeah.
Because I had to
just voices
in my head. It was the alarm goes off, or sometimes my body and my body clock just got into that rhythm of. Okay, I've got a job to do. I've got a mission to complete. I've got to do it. I've got to get it done. It's got to be, no one else is going to do this. Everyone, like, there's a lot of people relying on me.
You can't back out.
You can't back out. There's no such thing as backing out. It's like with anything you do. If you're pot committed or you're committed to doing something, and there's a lot of people relying on you to do something. And, I took back to my rugby league days when we're training really, really hard during the pre-season training, and things were very, very uncomfortable. You just had a job to do, and the guys that were in my support team, my dad was one of them. He drove the car.
Yeah.
Nate Miles, he walked with me the first 12 Ks, but it's a different pain. You've got these guys. Nate Miles' dad drove the back car.
Sick.
And then Will Van Os and young Adam Varitaris, they all drove the cars and were a part of my support team, but. Yeah, when you're doing something and walking from Cairns to the Gold Coast and taking 71 days to do it, I was supposed to take 68, but we got locked down when we come through Brisbane. But which was a bit of a pain in the ass because yeah, you just had to, I was so close to home,
Yeah.
and then Palaszczuk locks the state down.
Fucking torture.
Oh, it's torture, and it's weird because you come from these little regional areas through Cairns all the way down to, say, Gympie,
Yeah.
and there was not one conversation that we talked about COVID with the locals. There was no talk about COVID.
Yeah.
Nothing.
I mean, I copped a bit of shit the other day on the podcast because I just said, like, if it wasn't for Instagram and the media and then conversations with people about something they saw on the media or Instagram, like if you remove those variables, where the fuck is COVID?
It's nowhere.
That's what, yeah. And I've been around a lot of different places. Literally, I know people overseas that have got it.
Yep.
And I've kind of heard some stories of like people that I don't really know that have got it. But like, other than that, and then someone was like, oh well, that's probably because they do the lockdowns and they do. I'm talking in a dick voice. The guy wasn't being a dick to me actually at all. But he was just saying like, oh, you know, maybe you aren't seeing COVID because of the lockdowns and because of this and that. And it's like, well, we've done, what's this, 5 in Melbourne? They're not working. Nowhere else in the world is doing them because it's not really working. It's like, maybe we're not really seeing it. Maybe, you know, it's for whatever reason. But it's like, okay, well, they're over and over and over not working. And
that's the thing. Like, we, you know, the guys, we didn't watch TV. So because we're on the road so long and so often, so much, and we're staying in pubs, we're staying at caravan parks, we're staying in hotels, wherever people could put us up. Like the first 10 days, we had allocated places to stay, but after that, it just become people would just reach out and you could stay. Look, the amount of times we stayed had dinner at people's houses that we didn't even know.
Fuck, that's cool.
It's cool. It's cool as shit. Yeah. Like I reckon that happened. In 71 days, it probably happened about 15 times where we actually got invited to people's houses. Yeah. To have dinner with their family. It was mad. It was awesome. And that's the thing, is it was not like we sat at the back of their place and had a barbecue or they put a roast on or what do they need to put on for us dinner. We'd never sat around the TV and went, oh, okay, let's turn on channel 9, 7, 10, whatever news has got on. We didn't see the first 10. We didn't watch the news, so we didn't see the first 10 stories. But now that I'm home, that I happen to walk past and we're watching the morning shows and every fucking story is about COVID and how bad life is. Yeah. It was so refreshing to walk these areas, not watch the news, not watch any news. And I'm talking any news. And to walk through these regional areas and regional towns and not one conversation about how bad life is because of COVID. I remember we walked all the way down to Townsville. We walked into the Broncos-Cowboys game, and after we'd finished doing the lap around the field, I got talking to JT, and obviously JT being a North Queensland boy, just all we started talking about was football and how good life is, and all. There wasn't one conversation about COVID. There wasn't one conversation about my walk because we just started talking about football, and then he rang me back. He rang me probably about 5 days later, and I was coming through into Ayr and Home Hill and those areas, south of Townsville. Yeah. He goes, "Oh, walks. How's everything going, mate? We didn't really get to talk about your walk. All we do was talk about footy. How's it going?" I said, "Well, JT, I don't want to sound corny." I said, "But I'm not watching the news. I'm not hearing the doom and gloom of life that has been force-fed down our throats. Yeah. And I think that over the last 18 months, news for me is misguided. It's not like when we were 10-year-old. Dude. Like, do you remember when you were 10, 15 years of age? Yeah. Like, I'm 41 years of age. So that's 25 years ago, 20 years ago, even 10 years ago. We would watch the news to get information about what's going on in the world and would take it as gospel. Yeah. But there's so much misinformation. It's gotten so bad. So bad. It's so bad. It's so bad that it's a selling point. And
wait, go real quick, Ronan, go on the Gypsy Tales Instagram. This is like fits literally. I just shared, so I never fucking share political shit. It's not political, but it's a great example of the fucking the media. So go and just go into my stories. Watch this shit. This is like literally what you deal with. So the very last one. Now pause it on that. Dude, look at this. The same fucking tweet. I just left the ER. We're officially back getting crushed by COVID-19. Delta variant is running rampant and much more transmissible than the original virus. 99.9% of our ICU admittance did not receive a vaccine. And then there's that one Twitter, that's a tweet, and then bang, 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 bang. Someone screenshotted 9 fucking tweets of the exact same thing.
Do you know how many people would have would have written the same bullshit that we...
well, that's bots, dude. That's literally Twitter bots. So, like, that's the world that we're living in. So, do you remember when, like, the Trump-Hillary, like, the election was going down, and there was all that talk about, like, bots and, like, Russian bots and all that sort of shit? Yep. So, that's what they were doing, is that have these accounts, like thousands and thousands of fake Twitter accounts that would get... Trump had it on his side, Hillary had it on his side, and then that's where like the whole Russian thing came into it, because it was like Russian bots that were doing it. And it's like, people, you know how outraged a tweet can make you, or a story, or... So you've literally got fucking companies and politicians and media outlets like fucking paying these bots, dude. You can't trust anything, and that's a fucking shame.
You can't, and this is why my walk of not watching, like I said, I was away for 71 days, and I'd do it again in a heartbeat, because I'm waking up at 5 o'clock each morning. 9 times out of 10 there was no TV. Where, you know, when you wake up at home before work, you put the TV on, you have a cup of coffee, you cook yourself some bacon and eggs, or have some cereal and sit down and watch the Idiot Box for half an hour before you go to work. You get fed that much fucking shit, it's ridiculous.
Your anxiety's through the roof before
you're driving to work going, holy shit, we're about to die.
Fucked.
We're fucked. It's gone. We're dead. Yeah. Like, I might as well, why am I going to work for when COVID can hit me? And I was not seeing news. And I was, like I said to JT, I didn't want to sound corny. I said, JT, I don't want to sound corny here, but I'm not watching news. I'm not getting force-fed the shit that we see every single day, and usually it's a repeat story anyway. And I said, instead, I'm seeing people that come out and generally give a shit what I'm doing, and are really happy for me to talk to them about my story and about what I'm doing and what I'm doing it for. Yeah, and then I'd hear their stories and how proud they were of me, and how how I've inspired them to do something, or they did something similar or something like that. Yeah. So everything in my life was positive. Yeah. Every single thing in my life, to the point where if any one of my team members, and when I say team members, my dad, Nate's dad, Will and Adam, if they started being a little bit negative within the group, because you're living in each other's pocket for 16 hours. It's a long time. So, of course, there's going to be your little blow-ups. There's going to be little fractions here and there. But it's easy for us to go, right, okay. Because there was one point there I said to Dad, Dad, if you're going to be negative, don't come with me today, or jump the flight and go back home, because we don't need negativity. And that was sort of our little ethos. That was our little work thing. No one, if you had something to say it, get off your chest. That way it didn't manifest into something big. And that was our team. Everyone had their roles and responsibility because it was a team. When this sort of stuff, your negative, fucking negative shit. And then and I said to my missus, I said, you know what? When I come home, let's take the TVs off the walls and put them in the bin, or turn them off or something. Yeah.
Man, I did that in 2019, end of 2019.
How good is it?
Me and my chick, we broke up. She bought the TV. Yep. And I was just like, yeah, fuck, take the TV, actually. Like, I don't want a TV. So, dude, since like, August 2019, I haven't had a TV, and I just haven't bought one again. That's the only fucking TV I own is in this studio. And dude, so funny thing, I love it, but then I had a mate move in, and then he was like, oh, what if we just get the TV to watch this, and this? And I was like, nope. That is a hard and fast rule of no television. And dude, like, I've literally, it's to the point where I don't know what's going on, and I'll go to a fucking gas station or something, like, oh, you need a mask. I'm like, okay, I don't have one. I didn't know that was a thing. I'm that out of the loop, dude. I am so fucking out of the loop. It is hilarious.
Either did I. I didn't know that. I didn't know I was halfway through. I was
Call me a
24.
cunt if you want. But that's how it is.
No, see, the
Not
thing
you,
is,
just whoever.
I grew up without a TV. So
Yeah.
I grew up in Toowoomba with 4 boys in my family: Ben, Shane, me, and then Luke.
Yeah.
We never had a TV for 11 years in the house. So we would, our whole days were playing cricket, football, golf, whatever we needed. We lived in between Toowoomba and Oakey, a little bit of acreage. Our next door neighbour was 500 metres away. So we could scream, we could yell, we could do whatever we wanted. It wasn't like we're being in the burbs. But we never had a TV our whole, like virtually our growing up life until I was 16. And it was awesome. It was the best thing ever. Like we used to sit down, have dinner every night with my brothers, and that's how come me and my brothers and my family are so close.
So close, yeah.
It's because we'd share things. We'd share our days at dinner. We'd sit down and have dinner every single night as a family. We wouldn't sit down in front of the idiot box and watch TV. It would be open lines of communication from the time we got home to the time we went to bed after school. Or if it was on the weekends, from the time we woke up to the time we went to bed. Yeah. And that's that life as a child. We got
so hard to replicate.
It's
now,
so hard to replicate now. My kids are 11 and my twins are 11 and my oldest one's 13. They got phones. They got 3 TVs in the house. They've got,
a million fucking channels.
And a million channels and mobile phones.
Yeah.
And they're all on social media. I'm like, oh, righto. Well, I mean, you got to educate them at some stage.
I think that's like really all you can do is just like educate people. Because, I mean, even, with my housemate for example, like because my whole theory on it is it's control.
Yep.
Like, I want to control. There's like, I don't think people think enough about the fact that what comes into your brain dictates how you think. And you might think you're in control of your thoughts, but if you I guarantee if I spent fucking 5 minutes listening to literally anything Tracy Grimshaw said, I would be fucking angry. You know what I mean? Melancholy, angry. If I watch them, and when I go to my parents' house now or whatever, I'm just like, fuck this, get this out of my life. And I think that's like the educational point is like, you can say to your kids, hey, you're not in control of what you're hearing. Like, you might think you are, but because I started seeing Instagram like this, right? It's literally just a fucking slot machine. Like, this is invisible. You are you're scrolling. What's down here? You don't know what's coming. You can see some shit that you can't unsee. Yep. You can see a picture of your fucking ex-missus that someone's been tagged. You can see all of this bullshit that completely fucks you up. And how many times have you seen someone shares a gnarly fight or something, and you watch an fight on Instagram, you get anxiety about how fucking gnarly some dude just
WhatsApp, the things I get sent on WhatsApp is crazy.
And it alters your state.
It does.
It alters your fucking state of mind.
Well, and I'm only going off my walk now. This is probably one of the best things I've ever done in my life is walk from Cairns to Gold Coast.
Yeah,
because I had a massive reset, and when COVID started, I was one of those fuckwits sitting in the front of the TV. Sorry, I'm not calling everyone fuckwit, but I was one of those people that sat at the TV and I turned CNN on, I turned Sky on, I turned Channel 9, 10, and I was eating that up. Yeah. I was just sitting there, just going, "Give me more, give me more," and it altered my thinking. And I'll tell you now, it altered my thinking, and it gave me anxiety because I've got anxiety anyway. I've been diagnosed with anxiety. I used to get really bad anxiety, and if I don't stick to my training, or I don't, if I can now reassess, I can assess my thoughts, and if I feel like I'm thinking this way, well then I need to start training.
Pivot,
I've got to go train. I've got to go realign my work. I've got to get back into my routine. I walked into Mackay, so I think it was day 25 or 26. Walked in, and one of my good mates, he works at ABC, Far North it's called, or Tropical North, and he goes, right, Walks, can you do us a favour? Before you start walking on Saturday morning, this is on the Wednesday, he goes, can you come into the studio and do a slot with me? And I said, yeah, no worries, Johnny, sweet as, awesome. I walked into the studio, hadn't seen TV, and I looked up on the TV monitor behind me, and they were talking about Gaza and Palestine having a ceasefire.
Yeah.
And it lasted a week or 10 days, whatever it lasted. And I looked up at the screen. And I said, "Oh, mate, how long has this been going on for?" He goes, "Mate, it's been going on for 7 days."
Yeah.
And I wouldn't have had
a clue.
Yeah.
And
then then Courtney, my wife, she came up and met me in Mackay. And one of the hotels, they reached out to us and said, "Listen, love your work. Come and stay at the hotel." So I actually got to stay at a hotel, and it was pretty cool. And before I was getting ready to go start my walk one morning, Courtney had the morning shows on. And while I was putting my shoes and socks on, getting my shorts and getting everything prepared, I sat down, I was putting my shoes on, I looked up and I was watching TV, and everything was fucking doom and gloom. And I got up and I stormed off, and Courtney goes, "What's wrong with you?" I said, "Turn that fucking shit off." I said, I've automatically gone from how good's life, how good's life, I can't wait to do, complete day 27 in my head, and I'm thinking about, we've got 30 Ks to do, because that's what I was doing, 30 Ks a day, to the point where I was just sitting there watching it, just getting fed shit, doom and gloom.
Yeah. And then you take, and the problem is if you take any of that to be the truth, then it's like some of it may be true.
Yep.
But I don't know. I couldn't tell you what's true in the same way that I couldn't tell you what's false. So in that sense, it's like I don't want to listen to any of it at all. Like if I can't disseminate,
I'm staying in my lane.
Yeah, if I can't disseminate this information, I'm fucking out, dude.
Yeah, and that's the thing. This is where also too, where I think to myself, well, hang on. These countries who are having these massive increases of COVID is because we're being fed so much misinformation. I'm thinking to myself, hang on, are there really that many people dying? Are there really that many people with the COVID? And then I'm thinking to myself, is it an agenda? Then you just go, I can guarantee you when the Trump or when the elections were going in America, do you notice now the elections are done, America's opened up. Mm-hmm. Fuck me, seriously.
It's all political.
They all wanted Trump out.
Yeah,
they all want Trump out because he called out a certain, you hear that, or I was reading all that sort of stuff where, and I was listening to the far left and I was listening to the far right, and I was making I make my own assessment. I don't sit over here and I don't sit here. I sit here after getting as much information on both sides and making my own opinion. And I think that's all we can do at the moment, and that's because we've been fed so much shit. I listen to, and I'm telling you now, I listen to the far left and I listen to the far right. They've all got their agendas. So for me, as a person in the public and a person to make a smart decision on, or a smart choice on which side you can lean to, I don't lean on any other side. But I just sit there and I watch and go, righto, yep, they're full of shit with what they said there, and they're so full of shit there. I'm going to make up here. There's got to be a middle ground. There's got to be something in the middle that I can get this truth out of, because they're just talking shit, both sides.
Well, that's what they say. There's three versions of the truth: his truth, and the truth.
That's right.
Yeah.
And you know what? First time I heard that about a week ago.
Really?
Yeah. First time I heard it the other day.
Man, my dad said that to me when I was a fucking kid.
No, I always had there's one side or the other side.
Yeah. No, I think it must have been from some school shit, and I said to Dad, like, no, he's lying, right? He's like, well, you're probably fucking lying. He's like, because there's his version of the story, there's your version of the story, there's the fucking truth, and you're not going to tell it, and you're not going to tell it.
And I sit right there, like, I'll listen to, mate, The Project, they just so...
No, turn your TV off, throw it away, fucking
and
done.
then I'll go watch Alan Jones, because they're just so far...
Yeah.
Like, I don't mind actually Alan Jones. There's some of the things that he says about politicians and that, because you know what? At one stage...
Why hasn't he run ever for...
Well, this is the thing. He used to... he virtually ran the country for about a decade and a half.
Really?
Yeah, because he was so influential with the leaders.
Like, was that when, like, around John Howard sort of era? Yeah.
There was talk that he was...
I miss John Howard, to be honest.
I miss the truth.
You know what I fucking miss? I posted something the other day. Again, very rare posting, but the last couple of weeks got me feeling some kind of way. Where the fuck did all the leaders go? Where are they? Australia has zero leaders. There's zero leadership. Like, who do I look to? Who can I trust? Who's an example to me, or a guy that makes, or a girl that wants to make me turn on the television? Because I lived in America through all of Obama, right?
Yep.
That guy, whether you liked him or you didn't like him, when he addressed the country,
everyone listened.
Everyone fucking listened. There is some charismatic, legitimate leadership about that guy, and he was able to speak with a voice. Like, he had a voice. He had the voice of a leader. And then anytime you see any of these Australian politicians at the moment, it's just like no one knows the answers. I don't have the information. I'm gonna have to refer to this person, and it's just like, well, what the fuck are you up there doing? Just give me the cliff notes from your secretary, for fuck's sake.
Why are we paying you $350,000 a year to
fuck the money?
No,
$350,000. I'll pay $1 million in tax. Adjust my taxes to pay for a really good leader.
Well, Scott Morrison, he must just be sitting back, because I haven't seen him address the nation for, well, maybe because I haven't been watching TV, but it's all been these doctors or so-called doctors that now some politicians that I've never even heard of come in and talk about COVID and the expert medical side. I'm like, you're a polyfucking-tician. It's like me trying to tell a soccer player how to kick a football.
Yeah.
I'm not going to do that, and they're not going to listen, and people would laugh at me. But I tell you what has happened, and this is only just me.
Also, disclaimer: we're both idiots.
Oh yeah, we're both idiots.
All right, we're just in a room fucking talking. We're both fucking idiots.
But I'm just saying, like, I tell you what this COVID has done, and when it first happened, there was a whole bunch of people over here believing it. Geez, we're all going to, like, this is so bad. And they were still listening to the media. But that chunk of people has now gotten smaller. And the people who are over here that was this big going, hang on, this is all a crock of shit. I'm waking up to what the media is all about. There's a lot of people that are going, hang on, I'm not listening to the media anymore. And so that chunk is getting smaller. So the media are actually shooting themselves in the... This is just my...
Yeah, no, I totally agree.
The media are shooting themselves in the foot because they're saying so many outlandish things that people go, fuck me, mate. Like they're talking about this Delta strain. It's the most...
Everything is... If you watch this, right? If you watch the whole over the last, 18 months, it's just a brand name.
It is.
COVID-19, it's a brand. And then you start losing control of one brand, you rebrand it. Like, how many businesses have rebranded? Vanilla Coke. People stop drinking fucking Coke. Let's make Vanilla Coke. And let's remarket Coke.
That's right.
It's the same fucking shit.
It is the same. Fucking, you look at the fast food joints. They're trying to put the salads in there to try and... It's a brand. You're right. It's 100%. I've never thought of it like that. But it's a fucking brand. It's become a brand.
And the Delta variant is a rebrand.
It's a rebrand. You know what? For me, when they started calling... Because I didn't know about the Delta variant because I was on my walk. So I walked in, I was like, oh, Delta.
Yeah, exactly.
It's some sort
That's
of fucking movie.
For,
It's some sort of movie that the Americans have come up with because it's top secret or it's dangerous. Yeah. Because Delta...
Why the fuck did they call it Delta? It's a Top Gun.
Because you can't call it the hairy variant. Yeah. Because you can't call it the fucking fluffy variant because it's not scary. Yeah. It doesn't... Okay. This is how ridiculous it is for me. I was in PNG when it first happened. When it first came in. So I quarantined at home for 2 weeks. So that's when you could quarantine at home. You didn't have to quarantine in the hotel. So I got home. They were quarantining at home. So I got to quarantine at home. I went to the local IGA after I'd finished my 2 weeks. And this is right at the start. People were shitting themselves.
Yeah, and honestly, that's fair enough.
That's fair enough because it's new.
Yeah, when you don't know what's going on. And this was sorry to hijack the story, but this was my thinking around it all as well, is once it sort of got going and we did a couple lockdowns and it sort of got going and it didn't get going, it just became very obvious at one point that I personally was not going to die from this. Now, before everyone thinks that's a very selfish way of thinking, it's like, okay, so if I feel like this and I'm like, okay, well, if I get it, I'll quarantine, I'll do this. But at no point through COVID-19, apart from maybe a day, I remember when I flew back from Bali, I missed the home quarantine by 2 days because I was in Bali. Yep. Flew back, missed that, and I was sweet. But I was legitimately going, fuck, what's going to happen? A bunch of balls in there. Yep. That's totally fine. Yep. And the thing is, and this is what I started saying to people when I was like, man, I really think that this is an overreaction, is that let's say COVID, if the risk of COVID was that your eyeballs would turn to mush and they melted out the front of your face mid-conversation and then you just fell to the floor and you're fucking dead. If that was what happened as a result of COVID, Bet your motherfucking ass I am staying fucking home. I'm not leaving.
Or you disintegrate.
I
I'm not
will
leaving.
get a vaccine of whatever the fuck. You can put pig cum inside me if that is going to fucking work.
Don't worry, that's awful stuff.
But right, like if that was
100%.
the concern, who the fuck's scared of this thing? And like if you are at risk, and if those are concerns, by all means, there should be some very serious and legitimate things put in place to, like, for your health.
Yep.
But when you're telling me that the average age of death is 86, but as an Australian male, my life expectancy is 80, fucking Gucci, baby.
I'm sweet as. I'm sweet. But that's the thing. That's where, like, the footage of, like, I was in PNG and I rang my wife and I said, fucking take the kids out of school.
Yeah.
Get them out of school. This shit. Because, you know what? China were walking around China, like, one of their towns with these big spray guns spraying the whole cities. Yeah. And then they were saying that people were just dropping dead. I was like, fuck, this is an apocalypse. Get the fuck kids home, put them in the bunker. We're staying in there for 5 years. Yeah. That's where my head went to.
Which is totally fine.
Yeah. But now,
18 months later,
it's like that meme that goes around where there's a big fat fella with a diaper on and said, "Listen, if you had 0.1% chance of shitting yourself,
would you wear a
diaper? Fuck no. I don't wear a face mask. I have a medical exemption.
Yeah, deviated septum.
And I've got anxiety, so I don't wear them.
I just got fucking shit breasts sometimes.
Oh, and that's another reason. That's the reason why I should wear them. My kids give it to me all the time about my shit breath. I've been drinking shit shakes and eating shit cakes, but it's for me, that's a freedom that they're trying to take away from me, and I'm not having it. It's not cool with me. And you know what? If I get COVID and I die, well, then everyone can stand over my grave and fucking laugh at me.
Yeah.
But you know what? I'm going to take that risk.
Yeah.
And people go, oh, but you know what? You're breathing on other people. Well, hang on. You've got your mask on, so you should be fine.
Yeah.
Don't come to me and go, oh, you get. But this is where it really gets me. This is where this whole COVID. I know we keep on talking about COVID.
No, that's all right. I never speak about it, so it's kind of fun. Okay, this
is how fucking laughable it is. If you stand up, you're a chance of getting a big boy.
That was another thing when I was like, I'm kind of done on this as well, because none of this shit adds up. Oh shit! Wait, fuck, risky. Risky, don't do it.
Hang on. It's so risky. I just pulled my thing out. There we go. That's the thing. If you stand up,
no, you got way more chance.
Oh yeah, but if I sit on a stool, if I'm this height, but then I sit down like that, can't get it. But if I sit on a stool and I'm still that height. Oh, because you're sitting down, it knows.
It's hectic. I remember we went to it was like September last year. We went up to Cairns, and we were out at Gilligan's. God bless. We're at Gilligan's, and they're like, oh, you can stand up, but you can't dance. And I was just like,
it is the smartest virus. Yeah. And you know what?
It's the smartest.
It is the smartest virus because it can even tell if you're 13 years or younger.
True, eh?
Yeah, and it can also tell if you've got a medical exemption and you don't have to wear a mask.
Yeah, you can't get it then either.
Can't get it either.
It's fucking hectic.
It's crazy.
So this is what I've been saying to like people lately that have any objections or any because the way we're talking, there's people that don't have objections to us. That's fine. I completely respect everybody.
And I respect this.
Yeah, I respect where everyone's at. I'm speaking from my own personal bias, okay? Same. I am personally biased towards my own situation. That is inescapable for me.
Yep.
So if I'm speaking in a way that to some other person is completely unacceptable, that would be because of your personal bias and your personal situation, which I cannot inhabit for as much as I would like to do. But I'd say to people like, let's play this out to like a really bizarre way, right? In my mind, what the government is saying to people is like, hey, there's this global pandemic. It's called COVID-19. We don't want you to die from it.
Yep.
And it's like, oh, thanks. That's kind of cool. Like, I appreciate you guys. The government hooked me up.
Yep.
And then it's like, okay, so to keep you alive, you can't go to work and you can't go outside and you can't interact with friends and we really don't want you having conversations. If you see your neighbors, please don't talk to them. So, and again, this is to keep you alive. So this is for your own good. It's like, oh, okay. Well, all right, fair enough. I was like, okay, and so we're going to kind of go in and out of lockdown. If you've got a business, like, it's probably fucked. So, but we're doing this to keep you alive. And then I go through all these situations. I'm like, okay, so I'm not really doing much living. So they're trying to keep me alive, but I don't really have a life. So what do I do now? And then it's like, okay, well, wait a minute. So I'm not allowed to die from COVID, but I'm allowed to put a backpack on with some cotton that's strung together, and I'm allowed to jump out of a plane at fucking 30,000 feet.
Yep.
And I'm allowed to go and load up my dirt bike. I've watched my friend die from a dirt bike. I'm allowed to go do that. I'm also allowed to go to dinner at night when people are drinking alcohol, and fuck, I could die from getting hit by a drunk driver. I cross the road heaps. Yeah. Maybe someone's on their phone and they fucking kill me. So I'm allowed to die from all this shit, but I'm not allowed to die from that. Even though I'm kind of not even really in the category of people that die from this.
Yep.
And so that's kind of in my head, like, that's how I rationalize this. I'm like, you've decided that I can't die from this thing, but I can die from everything else. Yeah. Everything else is completely fine. Yep. But you make that call for me. And okay, what's the price of so then even to go further, right? So I'll take it. I'll just keep going with it. Yep. So let's say I go, I'm going to do what the government says, and I'm just going to fully embrace this thing. I'm going to fucking get heaps of supplies. I'm going to lock myself in my room. I'm going to get Uber Eats. I'm going to have a fucking mask on. Like, I'm going to have a full quarantine deal, and I'm going to hold myself up, and I'll fucking stay alive. I won't die from COVID-19. How long do you think you could fucking last before you go, you know what? I might just risk it today. I might just fucking risk it. Yep. I would like to go out into the world. Just by being alive, I could be dead in any case from anything. So you know what? I'm gonna fucking risk it. A fucking
meteor could hit me walking across the street, and then you got to go to the other point. How long until you do that? Till you go mental health? Okay, well,
exactly.
Give me that gun. I'd rather just
people are fucking doing it, man.
And that's the real pandemic.
Yep.
That is the real pandemic. Like, I think there was 2 people who died last month through COVID. There was 11 people per week just in Queensland that killed themselves through mental health because of what this COVID. For them to say to me, this is another thing that lost me. The other day they go, and like I said, I don't watch news, but you just see it, and you just fucking hear it in the background. There was some medical expert going, don't talk to anyone. If you see your neighbour, go to the other side of the street. Do not risk it. Fuck off. Yeah. And you know what? Keep on saying that. Keep on. I first of all, I got angry at the person that said it. I said, fuck off. But then I thought to myself, hang on, no, keep on saying that, because the more you say that, the more people go. We saw the rallies that happened in Brisbane and Sydney. Now, everyone's
all over the world.
Everyone's condemning the people who did that. But for me, like I said,
wait. But nobody condemned the Black Lives Matter. No,
that's it. Well, this is the political side of things. This is all
fucking
political.
Virtue signaling.
It's all political. So this is another thing. I hope they keep on doing it, because you know what? It's not long before Sydney has lockdowns for a year, and people just go about their business. Yeah, it's not long. That's right on the horizon for me. That's right there. People are now waking up so much, because you know what? If this happened, if people got sick of the lockdowns and did what they did on the weekend in Brisbane and Sydney, I think they might have even done it in Melbourne as well. Well, then there would have been uproar. But now people are starting to go, you know what? There's the majority of the people that didn't like the Black Lives Matter and were against it. There's only now a really minority people that were against that happen on the weekend. Yeah. Because people are starting to go, dude, go for your life. Yeah. And I feel like joining that rally. I feel like being there. You know what? Go for it. Go for it. Like I said, if they do it, that's their. You know, if people blow up that they did it, I don't care. If people encourage it, I don't care either, because I'm staying in my lane. My lane's here. I get to go to do things, and if they have a lockdown in Queensland, I'm still going to go to the beach. Mm. And if they find me, if they put me in jail, I've even said to my missus, I've even said to my missus, if we go into lockdown, I'm still going to the beach. I'll still take the dogs for a walk on the beach. I'm still going to live my life. And I'm going to go sit on the beach because there'll probably be no one there. I've got more chance of getting COVID at home with my family than sitting on the beach by myself. I said to Cordy, I'm going to do it. And she goes, but you know what? You'll get massive fines. I won't pay them. You could go to jail. Good. I want to make a stance on this.
Yeah.
You know what? If I can, it's like my walk. If I could show people that I could do this during the COVID and I could walk from Cairns to Gold Coast, well then there were so many people that were direct messaging me and reaching out to me on a daily basis. Your support, what you're doing has encouraged me to get outside. Even in Sydney and Melbourne when the COVID, even now, like I'm not listening to Gladys down at Sydney. I go for a walk 10Ks a day or 20Ks a day. That's what I'm getting right now because they see what I've did and go, you know what, I can get strength out of that, and I don't need to feel shitty, which I've been feeling shitty over the last 18 months, sitting at home in lockdowns, out of lockdowns, being told what you can do, being told what you can't do. Freedom of speech has been taken over. You're living in a communist society, sort of on the verge of communist society. So I'm going against that, and I feel like a rebel when I'm doing it. But I'm happy. And that's what I'm getting on a daily basis. Yeah. Is people are generally rebelling against the system because the system's telling us.
What's the system there for? It's like there to serve the people.
But
you know
is there
an
agenda? I'll ask you. And we're getting so far into it. And
that's fine.
And
that's what we're here for,
yeah,
baby.
I know, but
I will say this though before, like, the thing is, I'm all for trying to figure out the best way for society to function.
Same.
I'm not saying that we should just go buck wild, open it up. There's no denial of what's going on. There's none of that. But it's just like, this isn't working, and it's not working for us. We're the people. The people are heavily affected by this. It's really fucking people up. Like, dude, I feel so sad for the people that, like, I've got friends that couldn't go across borders to see their dad before he died.
I spoke to a bloke yesterday.
One fucking day they missed out.
Spoke to him.
How the fuck can you take that away from a person?
But then we've got Anastasia. She jumps on a plane, go to the Olympics. Yeah. And then you got,
and they wonder why. But they wonder why. Okay. They wonder why.
Here's one. I'm good mates with a DJ here on the Gold Coast. Mm-hmm. She has lost hundreds of thousands of dollars by cancelled shows. You know what happened after Brisbane won the Olympics?
What?
There was a massive big music festival at South Bank or wherever it was with 10,000 people there going nuts. But this DJ that I know, she can't play at open gigs because it's her job.
Yeah, yeah.
But then I'll probably get my ass kicked for this. Then we can have 57,000 people screaming at State of Origin 2, which I'm all for anyway.
Yeah,
but
fuck yeah.
Fucking Queensland got beaten. But this is like, I'm just sitting on both sides. Like like I said, I enjoy my sport, but then families and artists are losing their livelihoods because there's just so many double standards, and that's what I can't cop. Yeah. I can't cop the double standard. I can't cop that.
And the person that loses out is like the bottom dude. The fucking the blue collar Aussie bloke that's fucking working, trying to put a roof over his head. He doesn't have the financial powers or the legal team to find the loopholes in the legislation, and you know the small business owner that's still running the corner grocery store. You know, they're just getting by, and they've just been getting by for fucking 20, 30 years. It's
and now it's just been swept out from underneath.
Bang, you know, and it's like there are exceptions to the rule. The exception to the rule is if you're a politician or if you're a big sporting organisation.
Taxpayer paid politician. They don't give a fuck if Johnny down the road who can't serve people coffees because everyone's in lockdown, his livelihood's gone. The politicians are making the decisions. They're making decisions. They're getting paid regardless, because we've all got to pay our taxes. So they're you know what? If I was a politician and I was getting taxpayer money in my bank account every month, it would be easy to make these decisions because you know you're comfortable. You know you got that stability. And that's what we don't have as a society at the moment, because we're being told by politicians we don't have that stability. Stability at the moment has been taken away from us because they're making decisions on lockdown. Lockdowns don't work. People are still getting COVID. People are still getting the Delta virus because if you watch TV and someone says Delta virus, there's a good chance of getting it. That's how contagious it is.
Yeah.
Stability has been taken away from everyone. And you know what? Everyone's starting to act a little bit frantic because we're creatures of habit and we're creatures of that stability. And once someone starts chipping away at your foundations, that's when there's going to be anarchy. And I can see if it keeps on going for another year and we keep on getting these mixed emotions and these mixed messages by the politicians, there's going to be riots. There's going to be some serious consequences to people's lives. And I don't know if we're able to sustain this because, mate, there's some people out there, even the most stable people that I've known and the people that I've respected, from the start, their stability's gone. Their mental health's starting to go, and it's dropping really, really quick.
It's getting draining.
It is getting very, very draining because it's almost like the puppet masters are now are using us as their puppets, and we're becoming pawns in their game.
The problem is that when things get there's they like the saying there's separation between church and state. Yep. You know, like you should never let the church intervene with like state affairs. And that, I mean, the biggest example of that is like gay marriage. So like the reason why you'd say no to gay marriage is because you're like, oh, it's against God, it's against religion. So that's state influence, that's religion influencing state. And I think that, I think we don't really have that problem as much these days. But you sort of saw it with the gay marriage thing. But this is like a global health issue that's being politicized.
Oh.
And that's the big, there's things that all of us, and this is the biggest problem with like the media. And man, there's going to be a fucking inquisition at some point about Pfizer, AstraZeneca, the money that they have made out of this, the money through different media organizations. And like, I think 10 years down the track, we're all going to look back at this and be like, holy fuck, that was the most corrupt thing in Western society. Like, there are companies that like, dude, I don't even want to know what fucking Pfizer's stock's at or like anything like that. It is fucking crazy. But the thing is, right, is it gets so politicized, and then the media feeds into the politicization of it, and then you've got this cause and effect, left, right, like Democrat, Republic, or fucking Labor, Liberal in Australia, back forward, and you have this process of regeneration that happens internally in Parliament, because one side, and it's exactly what you said about Trump and Biden, it's like they're using it as a tool, and for you hit the nail on the head in terms of saying like, all right, where do the salaries come from? The Labor Party or the Liberal Party, they just want control of the government. So it's like if you're in the side that doesn't currently have the power, what's the way that you do it? You use the hottest topic, the biggest issue, and you use that against the current government, and then that current government has their hand forced by the opposition to then create these laws that are going to fucking deal with what they're saying, and that oh no, they don't know what they're doing, this is the measures that we're taking, or this isn't working, and it just bang, and it just regresses to the point where we're at now. And man, there'd be so many politicians that like you could see it at the very start when it was like they've closed. It's just like dominoes, man. You see one, and then you're like, ooh, everyone starts looking, they're like, they've closed their borders. Can you imagine? But imagine being the Prime Minister of Australia and going like, oh, we're going to wait. You want to be the one fucking leader of the one country in the world that, now just think about as a personal level, right? Yep. You want to be, it's like being a footy player that goes like, you know what? I'm going to fucking take a stand and I'm going to start this players union. And then you got to be the one dude that goes out there and watch everybody else just be like, what a fucking idiot. What is he doing? You know, so like that's just
I've been that person.
But that's just a person, you know? And so we're trusting the leader that we don't even really pick, let's be honest. Like, they can fucking go in and out and fucking whatever. But it's like, we're just trusting this one person to have like the bravery or the decision to make like the right call for the right circumstance. Like, imagine the pressure they would have felt to lock shit down, and then everyone else is doing lockdowns.
Yep.
Fuck, we're doing lockdowns, you know? So there's such a pressure that would come with that role, you know what I mean?
And making that first leap.
But then on the flip side of it is like, you've got to have the courage to say like, nah, this is how it has to be. People, you know, and that's where leadership is. Leadership is about having the courage to make the right decision, or even make the wrong decision, but just make a fucking decision, you know?
And that's the thing, like with Dan Andrews, like you look at Melbourne, right? Obviously, a cold part
also,
of Australia.
that cunt got famous from COVID.
He got famous from COVID. They did that song about it, and Get the Beers, whatever it is.
Yeah.
Like, and that's the thing. Like, that's how come Queensland haven't been affected. We live in a nice warm state. You know, you very rarely get the cold. But we just keep on coming back to New South Wales are in lockdown. But if you come over the border of Queensland, you got to have the registrations, and mate, there's a hidden agenda. Like you said,
I don't even know. Like, I don't even think about it in that terms. Like,
see,
that shit, I'm just oblivious to.
So I look at that and I think, you know what? Like you said, in 10 years down the track, we're gonna go back and go, we were hoodwinked. We were actually played in that game, and you know, I lost an auntie, and I lost a friend to suicide, and I lost a cousin to suicide.
Yeah,
but they're all playing with everyone's emotions, and that's where, again, I get lost in. I could never. It's like the politicians or the media companies are bullying us into submission.
Yeah, 100%.
And I feel.
Well, you can feel it when you don't wear a mask. Like, I don't own a mask to wear, and you walk. I was in the supermarket, and people are literally fucking staring at you like you're the most dog cunt in the world.
Like you got leprosy.
I'm like, I just fucking don't have a mask, dude. I'm sorry. I need to get my beef.
Well, I went to the footy, and I didn't have a mask, and the lady said, "Oh, why haven't you getting a mask?" I said, "Don't ask." And she, like, that's my freedom. My freedom is I don't want to talk about my mental state that makes me go when I wear a mask or my exemption. Yeah. Like, you tell me your bank details. You tell me where I live. If I said to you,
what medical conditions have you got?
Yeah, what medical or what's your bank details? They go, fuck off, mate. That's private.
Yeah,
this is all private. This is where you got to know your rights. You got to know your boundaries. Sometimes setting your boundaries are a little bit hard, but you've got to know your rights. You got to, like, before it's weird. Before you step out of that house and you walk out of your front door, you've got you need to know, these days you've got to know your rights. Yeah. Like, one day, like the days of walking out of the house and going, I'm free. Yeah. You know, the worst thing that can happen to me today is if I speed and a copper pulls me up, which is the law. Yeah. You know, I'm happy with that. I'm happy with the laws. The laws are good. But now life is so different. You walk out of your house and you go, righto, who's going to fucking ask me where's my mask? Who's going to cough at me? Or who's going to look at me weird because I've got the kids with me and we're standing up without a mask? Like, fuck me. Yeah. When I was 10-year-old, I didn't think I'd get to 41 and go, you know what? Fucking someone's going to, one day, when I turn 41, where's your fucking mask, and look at me like I was an idiot. Yeah. Like those. And
imagine the world that like kids are growing up in now too, you know. And the thing is though, like, fuck, the world changes. You know, like change is inevitable, and we've lost freedoms since, you know, I remember as a kid, like, I would go out and the rule was don't come home till the street lights are on. Am I doing that for my kid? Nope.
You know, like, I do it with mine.
Yeah, but I mean,
because I like my kids being outside, and also too, I grew up different. Like I said, no TV, and mum and dad, all they had to do is yell out down the paddock, and we'd be down the paddock, and didn't have the chance of being kidnapped by a mad petty or being hit by a car, because the worst thing that could happen to us is a horse kick us. Yeah. But that's it's different circumstances. You're right. Life, I think, for me, and this is just my assessment on, because I have a lot of time to think, and my assessment with life is the world has become such a small place now, and a large, and I'd say 90% of the reason why the world has become so small is because of social media. Yeah. Social media has, for me, fucked the joint. It's fucked people's heads.
If there was no social media, this COVID thing doesn't happen the way that it does.
No, and this is the thing. Like, I'm on social media. Like, I love me Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter, but I take the piss out. I know and this is just me. Like, you know, playing rugby league and coming to the end of my career is when, like I had probably 2 or 3 seasons left in my career when Twitter and Facebook started.
Yeah.
So I sort of copped the negativity from society. It was weird. I remember playing for the Gold Coast Titans, I think 2009 when Twitter first came out, and I had a bludger of a game, and I was getting pumped. Blokes were pumping me on Twitter. I'm like,
what the fuck is
this? Like, what the hell? I thought Twitter was supposed to be fun. I'm sitting there watching TV after getting home at 4 o'clock, 7:30 or 10 o'clock at night, watching TV, and I'm scrolling through my phone. Oh, by the way, it's 4:44, which is really good. The time. I'm sitting there watching TV, and then people are just smashing me on Twitter. I'm like, fuck me, what's going on? What is this social media shit?
Yeah.
And then I got to it. Then I thought to myself, after about 6 months of playing, and if you have a bad game, you're going to cop it. And so I've learned to train myself with social media about you take it for a grain of salt, and you can take the piss out of it, because that's what I usually do. Or you can use social media as a really good tool to identify good things in life.
Yeah, fuck
to push out things that people actually give a shit about. And there's also too that you can take the piss out of yourself, you can take the piss out of other people. As long as it's good. But there's also, with life, there's also the good things, and then there's also the evil things. And if you do get caught up, and I take Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook, and I'm not even on TikTok, but I take those things, and I teach my kids that it's not a real
it's not a real world.
It's not a real indicator of life and human beings, because and again I go back to my walk from Cairns. I got to meet some of the greatest human beings that I've never met before, that come into my life and touched me and touched my life in a good way. That even now that I've been home for 3 weeks, my missus has even said to me, goes, geez, you've changed. Like you're thoughtful, and you're considerate of everyone around you, because being a rugby league player or being a sports person,
very selfish,
fucking selfish, very selfish. And even now, with businesses and that, I needed to be selfish. I needed to make decisions without my wife, and thinking they were the benefit of the company. That was, I still did that. But now, like, even Courtney's like, oh, you thought about, what's Chris? What did you just say? What do I want for dinner? Or
what do you think about this?
Yeah. What do you? When was the last time you said that to me? And I'm not a prick of a bloke, but I can be. But that comes back to being selfish.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, a selfish person is not the best person to be around at all times. And that's what I teach with my kids. They're at the age now where they're reading they're on the social media pages, and they're on their Instagram and TikTok and all that sort of stuff. So I educate my kids that the people that have a go at you, 9 times or 10, I'd say 10 out of 10. I won't even give that leeway.
Yeah.
I'll say that 10 out of 10 people that have a go at you on social media aren't happy with their life.
Yeah.
So why let their misery ruin your day, or ruin your week, or ruin your month, or be bullied by someone that's so insecure that they're going to bully you on social media because they, back when we were kids, if you want to bully me, it was face to face.
We're going to fight.
And we're going to punch on. But they don't do that these days. There's no punching on.
No. Have you ever been a punch on, Ronan?
No.
Never?
No, I don't think so.
Yeah, fuck. See, kids. Bloody kids these days. Need a blood nose. I'll take it. No.
After this, I'll show you. No, but that's the thing. Like, we, when I was a kid, if I was a smart ass to an older kid, I'd get the piss punched out of me. That's how I'd show respect, and I'd show respect to all the kids.
Happened to me a few times.
Even some of the younger kids would punch piss out of you if you didn't show them respect.
Yeah.
But that's how it was. And I remember as a kid, we'd go to a footy and punch on, and then I'd go up to Dad crying. He'd go, "What happened?" I go, "I was smart ass to that kid." Well, Dad would go, "Well, there you go.
Serves you right.
There you go. So, mate, fucking, you won't do it again, or you won't pick on him, or you won't pick on anyone, or you won't. That's how it was. Now, now they pick up the phone and they'll be in a basement, or that's what. Even with my young nephew who's playing for the Roosters, like we had talking about social media and getting onto social media. We sat down with him and said, "Righto," that we went to a restaurant. Me, my older brother Shane, and Ben, we all played NRL, so we had our fair share of knockers.
Yeah. And
Sam was only coming through, and I said to Sam, "Righto, well," I said, "see that fat bloke over there spilling barbecue sauce all over his chest that wouldn't know how to pass a football? They're the blokes that are sitting on the couch and they'll have a go at you
yeah,
after you have a bad game.
Yeah. They ain't other super athletes.
Yeah, they're the other super athlete. They're
Yeah.
the armchair super athletes. Never
Yeah.
done anything in their life, but are first to criticise about something. You might miss a tackle, or might drop a ball, or might drop a pass, or whatever it is. They'll come and attack you because they got nothing else better to do. And Sam's that smart. He just laughs. He goes, "Yeah, you're right." And he copped it after a game 2 weeks ago or 3 weeks ago. He ran backwards, and mate, there were blokes death threatening him.
Oh, those fucking idiots.
People get so engulfed, and it's the same thing with the COVID thing.
Yeah.
They get so engulfed with their life,
Yeah.
or watching things and becoming that they forget that there's human emotions attached to it, including their own.
Yeah.
And they let their emotions just take over every train of thought.
Yeah.
And come up with the most bullshit shit in the world.
Yeah.
So,
So we, I've enjoyed the COVID shit. Now, some positivity that is like, so I feel like I've been negative up to this point. Not negative, but frustrated. And like expressing frustration. If you've sat through that, here's some positivity. You know, one thing that was fucking rad to me about the protests on the weekend, all peaceful protests. Like, and when you zoom out, right, and you go like, okay, let's watch these protests in Australia. Zero violence, like a very little violence, very little conflict.
Minimal.
Like, just really good people. Like, I look at that rally and I'm like, fuck yeah, Australia. Like, good on you guys for that. And then you can shift and look at other countries, and anytime there's a protest, it is fucking violent.
It's on.
There's guns. It looks like fucking militia.
There's fucking fireballs shot into
Yep.
shops.
Yep. And then you go to Durban. Have you seen all the stuff in
No, I
Durban?
haven't seen
Dude, so this is some shit after. Okay, so just before we get into that, just open a new tab, Rones, and just type in like Durban riots.
Oh, really?
Man, no, there's like some full on
that's
like
South Africa,
heavy political shit going down right now. So like, and this isn't on the news at all. Death toll from rioting in South Africa, more than 300 people, 337. So, I mean, and this is, I'm not fully across this. So this is, fuck off, deny. See ya. So I'm not fully across this. I've got some friends in South Africa. I've been sent some WhatsApps. I've been sent some.
Because this was on my walk. I'm pretty sure this is July.
Yeah, so like a couple weeks ago.
Yeah.
But yeah, so like this is my understanding of it. They had like a corrupt politician, and then that corrupt politician has a big supporter. He got overthrown, and then he's gone in and handed himself in essentially for corruption. And then once he did that, all of his supporters just said, "Nah, fuck this. We're going to take over." So literally just like militia, man. Like they were, I got a friend in Melbourne, and one of his best mates over there runs like a trucking company. So he does like fuel tankers. Man, they broke into his yard. They were trying to steal fucking fuel tankers and surround the city with these fuel tankers to fucking blow these fuel tankers. Like, so of all the problems that we've got in Australia, we don't have this. Australia is a fucking great country. We might have some clowns running it right now, but in terms of the average Australian person,
Good people.
You're a really good fucking person.
Yep.
COVID sucks. Please keep going. And we have a great country to keep looking after.
How many people got COVID from this riot?
No fucking, no
That's
idea.
the thing. Like
337 people died.
Let's put things into perspective. Like that.
That's fucked up.
Or have a peaceful riot. Like even with all the riots. This is another thing with political stuff. I know we shouldn't go back to.
Dude, look how crazy this shit is.
That's crazy. Look at that.
Look, man.
Like that looks like something out of a war torn.
That looks like something out of a movie, dude. And so and to fucking keep talking about the media side of things, like this isn't on the media. You know what I mean? Like people aren't seeing this in a massive way.
Well, does it have a political stand? Is there obviously there does.
But not for us.
Not for us.
You know, like they just keep fucking pushing COVID.
Yeah,
to me, this is like a human issue. Like this is because this is the thing, man. And we all need to think about, like, I've got my household, and then I've got my local community,
Yep.
and then I've got my city, and then I got my state,
Yep.
and then I got my country, and then I got the world. Like I am an active participant on a very multi-leveled like versions of community.
Yep.
And like you need to think of yourself as belonging to your household, your local
Yep.
community, and expand all the way out to the world. Like, we are a part of the world community, and so these are the kind of things that like we really should care about. And if you are the media, and if you are Channel 7 and Channel 10 and Channel 9 and the project, like, that's what you should be reporting as well. You know, like, don't just feed us the fucking same shit over and over and over and over. Like, what else is going on in the world that we should care about as fucking humans and as members of a global community?
Well, then we can educate our kids. We can educate our kids about this, because when we were growing up, this is what was on the news. We were educated about this. This is what was, instead of one thing, one topic. And yes, it's a big topic and it needs to be addressed, but there's other things in life. There's good and there's bad in life, and they should be all represented. Because you know what, the news stations have a responsibility, and if they don't have a responsibility, everyone's going to switch off eventually. Everyone's going to wake up. Like they talk about this woke movement. Everyone is waking up. Everyone's becoming woke. Everyone's realizing that there's certain people that enjoy the bad stuff because it sells and gives more money in their pocket. And unfortunately, with money, and it's been around since the first dime was invented and money was invented, people become greedy. People change because of money. And people say they don't, but they do. I know people who do change, and it's sad. And unfortunately, I'm sort of going around a little bit further than this, but that sort of stuff, or the COVID stuff, is selling and putting a lot of money in a lot of people's pockets.
Oh, 100%.
And they're not worried about. They're only worried about, you talk about your communities, you talk about your family, your household, you talk about your community. They're probably, that's as far as they go.
Yeah.
Those greedy blokes, they go that far. They don't give a fuck about their town or their city or their state and their country and their universe or the world.
Yeah.
They don't give a fuck about that. Because you know what? The world, the doom and gloom, that feeds their family, and that's all to them that they worry about. They have 2 layers.
Yeah.
We have 7 layers.
Yeah. Yeah, no, 100%. The other thing too, like, as much as the COVID thing's been a fucking kick in the dick in so many ways, I definitely feel like it's forced some changes in me for the better.
Yep.
That I probably would have never addressed, and not even like things that were problems as such that needed to be addressed. Like, some things definitely were, but for me personally, I'm a fucking jet setter, you know, like since I was 17 years old, I'm in fucking
Bali,
35 countries a year, you know, like I've been everywhere, and I'd get this itchy feet.
Yep.
And I'd do 2 months at home, and then I was like, where the fuck am I going? And then I'd go and I'd work, and but I could never get into, like, I never saw the value of a routine, and then I could certainly never get into a routine. So I think that this has forced me, you know, when you take all of that away, and I think that's probably like the underlying thing is, like, there's been some real freedoms taken away, but I've actually kind of found a real version of freedom in not having many choices. That to me feels, and you probably felt like that on the walk.
Oh, 100%.
The most free you have ever been is when you had no other choice than just to get up and fucking walk for 30 Ks.
And that was the freedom. And then on the back of that, the freedom of the freedom I got from walking on a fucking highway for 5 hours. Like, it doesn't sound much, but it was so interesting to see people come out of these communities, offer to walk with me. Some people who walk with me, some of them come back, drove 5 hours, 6 hours down the highway to find me and walk with me for another couple of days. And they found their freedoms as well. And once I found my freedoms, and once like I said here, like walking along a highway in a straight line, having cars and trucks whizzing past you at 100 to 120 Ks, 130 Ks is not the most ideal freedom that you think about. But once you're out there, you've got nothing else but the hills, the cane fields, the waterfalls, the blue sky, the white tarmac, the black tarmac, and the green grass. And that's all you've got. And you've got nothing else to worry about. You don't, like I said, you don't worry about the news. So there's your freedom. You're not pigeonholed to what they're telling you or what they're feeding you. And that for me, like I said to you, my heart and my soul were full of love, because that's what I had. And when people come out and walk with me, they'd walk 3 Ks, which usually took about half an hour, and they'd look at you and go, this is fucking awesome.
Yeah.
This is possibly one of the best things I've done. And I said, well, I've done it, you know, for 10 days, or, you know, if they come and join me at 25 days, I've been doing it for 25 days. No wonder I've got a big smile on my face.
Yeah.
And that was, it's realigning.
Yeah.
If you can realign, like you've had to realign your livelihood from travel to, well, I can't travel, I'm going to accept that.
Yeah.
I need to get myself need to find myself another vice.
Yeah.
And if you can find yourself another vice, my biggest thing, I went through a lot of things with business and I wasn't in the best headspace, and I used to wake up at 7 o'clock in the morning and I had no routine, or I'd wake up at 8 o'clock in the morning, I had no routine. So then I changed my routine from waking up at 7 o'clock in the morning or 7:30 to 5 o'clock.
Yeah.
And that was...
It's life-changing.
It's life-changing because I gained, I think it's a month. If you wake up 2 hours, 2 hours every day before you due to wake up all your life, you gain 30 days a year of productivity. Now, my productivity, and I'm different from everyone, so I can't talk for everyone.
Yeah.
My productivity, because I was in a really, really bad headspace, anxiety, stress like a motherfucker, business was shit, lost everything, didn't know where to look. I'd wake up at 5 o'clock. Now, for 45 minutes, I'd lay in bed, my missus beside me, dark, not a sound. Kids are asleep, dogs are outside. So not a sound. That 45 minutes every single day, just to myself, eyes awake, aware of my surroundings. Sometimes I jump the phone, read, look at Facebook, look at Twitter, look at Instagram. Then I'd go have a shower, go for a walk down to Currumbin Beach, because that's where I live, for 45 minutes. So this was my routine.
Yeah.
Go over, grab a coffee for myself, grab one for my wife, drive home. By that time, it was 7 o'clock in the morning, get the kids up ready for school. So that 2 hours was my time. That 2 hours productivity. Now, I call that productivity. Now, productivity could be...
It's like whatever serves you.
Whatever serves you. And that served me. Yeah. And my mindset went from a fucking mental retard to, in a space of a month, 2 months of getting into that routine, was fucking phenomenal. And I'm glad that I read that if you wake up 2 hours...
What'd you read that sparked that? Did you read 5 a.m. Club or something?
No, I think it might have been 5 a.m. Club.
Was it just like a meme off it or something like that? Yeah, okay.
And it was on... I'll tell you what it was. I was just scrolling through Facebook, as you do, mindlessly. And I was like... Because I was looking for things. I must have been self-consciously looking things to better myself.
Yeah.
And it popped up and I was like, fuck. And then I actually got my phone out and I calculated the time, and it was 31 days, I think, of that you get. Yeah. And then you hear the most successful people in life, they live by that rule. Yeah. You know, most successful, 9 times out of 10, the successful guys, they'll wake up, they'll train in the morning, they'll get themselves ready 2 hours before work, train, meditate, read, emails, whatever they need to do, then go to work, and they're in a mindset of fucking, I'm taking on the world. And that's what I do. Even now, I work with a guy who's fucking uber successful, and that's what he meditates, he yoga, and he surfs, and that's his productivity. I call it productivity. Yeah. And I talked about on my walk, it's about ringing the bell. If you ring the bell and you can hear it in your brain, you can ring that bell and you go, right, I need to wake up to something here. Yeah. That's me. And that's where I've been now for the last 2 years. And I love it. I absolutely love it. And even when I don't wake up and I wake up at 7 or 8 in the morning, I feel
I'm off it.
Yeah,
I feel the same.
And then you might go, right, well, tomorrow I'll have another sleep. But if you're aware of it and you go, right, I'm going to reward myself. And it's not a reward, because probably a reward now is waking up at 5. Yeah. But you go, right, I'll have a sleep in. And then you get up and you go, oh, fuck, right, okay, tomorrow I'm getting up at 5. Or 4. Like, I'm getting up at 4 now. I go down and train with Nate Miles at F45 at Tweed, and at 4:45, 5:30, you're having coffee with 2 of the boys or 3 of the boys that go there, you're chewing the fat, and you're off. Yeah. You're done. Your day is set. And there's no better part of the day than first light when the sun comes up.
Yeah, I've been doing the same thing, like, since the COVID thing. Kind of just forced the change, Like, maybe it was even a little bit before, because I think I was probably still with my ex when I was doing it. But yeah, I just got up at 5:30 because I like to read, and I just found it by the arvo nighttime, I'm fucking smoking weed. So I'm not reading while I'm smoking weed. Like, I just can't fucking read properly. So I was like, man, I just need more time to read. Like, I'm not reading enough. And yeah, so anyway, I switched from reading like kind of later and then earlier. So it was a few years ago, I guess. But and I've never was a morning person. Like,
either was I.
Man,
ever. When I was young, 9 o'clock. If someone woke me up before 9 o'clock, and they
I used to be able to sleep till like 11. Man.
Same.
Like those kid sleeps, like the teenage sleeps that you used to have. There's actually a bit of science around that though, so that does make sense. But yeah, like I started doing the 5 a.m. thing, and my other thing, like, I don't know whether this will resonate with you, but this is an extra layer on top for me anyway, and this was pretty apparent early on, is that I get up. I've spoken about it fucking heaps, so I'll breeze through it. But I get up, I make a coffee, I do, and everything I'm like trying to do the process the best way possible. So like I make my coffee and I don't put beans in the thing and just like I actually measure my beans. I weigh them. Like I kind of made my morning a process to follow. And then so I make my coffee and then I read for an hour and a half, whatever I got to do. And then I'll have a shower, I'll make some food, and then I'll sit at my desk. Normally we're in here about like 10 every day. So from like 5 in the morning to 10 is like my time. And once I've had my shower and stuff, I'll get to work. I feel good. I like working. So I'm excited to get in and do my emails and shit like that. But that, and then I'm trying to do the jiu-jitsu like morning thing, the class at 9:30, so it's kind of hard. But so that's like my routine. It's the same every fucking day. And the extra layer on top of it, which is probably my most important layer of waking up early, is if I'm having a fucking shit day, guess what I look forward to?
What's that?
My morning routine.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter if I have a shit day.
No.
All I know, I'm like looking, it's like, what is it, 5 o'clock now? I'm like, fuck, 12 hours until I get to do my shit again. And I know, like, that routine serves me. Like, I fucking, every single, not one part of that routine is a hindrance to me. I like making a really good coffee in the morning. I fucking love reading in the morning. I love making breakfast for myself, just for me. And then I love doing my work. And no matter what happens in the rest of the day, it's like I can't fuck it up. You know, and then if my day turns to shit,
you can do it again tomorrow.
I'll just do it again tomorrow. I have this like 5-hour period in the morning of every day where it's like, that's my shit.
Yep. And that routine gets you into the headspace. It's like when I finished my walk, I had a week off. And I woke up, so I was waking up anywhere between 5 and 6 in the morning. I'd say, righto boys, we'd be having dinner, we'd have a few beers, and we had beers every night because that was our routine. Our routine was I'd start in the morning, I'd finish anywhere between, depends if I ran the 30Ks or ran 10Ks or 20Ks, whatever I did during the day, and however long it took me, but I had to do my 30Ks. So we'd be finished where we finished at, say, 12, 1, maybe 2 o'clock, depend how we went. And then my routine was ice baths, beers with the boys, because we'd stay mostly at hotels or pubs. And when I say routine with the ice baths, if I didn't do that the day after, each afternoon, the next day would be a fucking grind.
Really? So you could tell the difference between did you have any days where you didn't do an ice bath?
Yeah, and the next day was it was a grind. It was tough. And then I had another company called Hyper Ice, which and
they give you the flushing. Yeah.
So that flushes it out, and I use those guys a lot. Plus, I had Body Science. Greg and Pico looked after me with all the supplement stuff. So, but if I didn't get into that routine, the next day was a grind. And my ice bars would be, I'd walk out to the pub, grab a willy bin, take all the rubbish out, spray the maggots out of there. I'd put ice in. They'd have
ice machine
9 times out of 10 they'd have ice machine. I'd put it half full of ice. I'd put water in there that much so it came up, and then I'd get me my Dettol. Dettol. Put my Dettol in there to get rid of all the to kill all the shit in there, and then I'd sit in there for 20 minutes, and that was my routine.
Really, 20 minutes?
20 minutes. So I'd go 5 on, 5 off, 5 on, 5 off, 5 on, in and out, and then I'd be sitting at the back with the boys drinking the pub, and then we'd finish dinner together, have beers together, and I'd go, righto boys, here's our routine. Righto, we're up at 5:30 in the morning. We're hit the road at 6. We go back to where I finished the day before, and then I'd walk. And that was our routine, and that's what we did. And then when I got back, I had a week off, and I woke up on Sunday morning, the first 5 days. Or
Yeah.
I woke up at 9:15 and I fucking shit myself. I was like, the first 10 seconds I woke up, oh shit, I've let the boys down. It's 9. Where the fuck am I? Then I started panicking about not being in the routine.
You had PTSD, bro.
I had PTSD and I got real I've let the boys down.
Yeah.
Then I realised I'd finished the walk and I didn't have to, the boys weren't anywhere to be seen. They were at home with their families. Then Sunday, because I started my day like that, in a panic. Frazzled. Yeah. But then, because I'd spoken to Nate, and I said, Nate, because obviously Nate spent the first 12 days with me walking from Cairns to Townsville, because he spent the first 12 days to set the tone with my walk. Nate said, righto, when you get back, I'm booking you into F45. You got to get back into that.
He's a fucking good dude, man. He has...
I'd die for him.
Yeah, heart of gold. So I don't know if I've ever told you, I grew up with him.
Up at Gordonvale?
Yeah, so I'm from Cairns, right? Dude, me and Nate, this is fucking crazy. Me and Nate went to the same primary school.
No way.
How old is Nate now?
No, he'd be 36.
Yeah, he's like 3 or 4 years older than me, I think, right? Yeah. So he was like in grade 7 when I was in like grade 4. And I didn't have any friends at school. I used to hang out with him, Jamie Frizzo, like and then Callum was at Saints. Yeah. So like I had no friends my age. I only hung out with those boys. And like, dude, me and Nate used to fucking coordinate what class we were gonna fuck around so that we could do detention together and shit. No way. Yeah, and
best bloke ever.
Man, he's the fucking nicest guy. Mate. Like he gave this is how good he is. So we went to Townsville for the North Queensland, all the Cairns and fucking whatever they do the North Queensland. So we were playing in that, me and my brother. Went down, it was always in school holidays. Our fucking bikes got stolen. We got back to Cairns, Nate just rocks up, gives my brother his bike. He had like this pretty trick BMX bike because we used to race BMX. And I was just like, I don't really use it that much anymore. Just like rocked up at our house with a fucking bike. And
mate, he's the best.
Yeah, he's honestly the nicest guy in the world.
So he said to me, he goes, right, Walks, you can't go cold turkey because you've done such an amazing job. He said, come and join F45. You can pick a studio that he owns. So I go down there, and getting back to my story about the Sunday when I woke up frizzled, woke up fucking just going, I've let people down. Like I've slept in, I've let people down. Because people used to look at my social media and go, oh, okay, you're here, you're there. Oh, you're going 30Ks. And I used to get that interaction with all my gang. And that's where, like I said, you can use social media in a good way.
Yeah.
Getting back to your story, when you said, if you have a shit of a day, your routine the next day can get you back into that alignment.
Yeah.
I woke up, I was fucking frizzled all day, and Nate had spoke to me during the week. He said, right, I've booked you in. You've got membership down at Tweed. Let the girls know. So we organised that on the Saturday, so they knew that come 4:45, I'm doing the 4:45 class at Tweed, at his studio at 45 at Tweed. I got on the couch, I was watching the footy, and I was still frizzled, and I was like, fuck, thinking about, I can't sleep in tomorrow because I can't let people down, because that was going through me because I've been doing it for so long that I'd train my brain that I've got another 30Ks, but then I go, fuck, I slept in this morning, fuck, I've let people down, no, oh shit, I'm done. And that was thoughts. And then I started getting really excited that my new routine now is waking up at 4, setting the alarm at 4, 15 minutes to myself, shower, 10 minutes to the F45 at 4:45. I'm going to be training my ass off for 45 minutes. Then the blokes I train with now, we all get to go have a coffee. That's my routine. And automatically got into, okay, I've had a shit day. And when you were saying that, I was like, that's my Sunday. Yeah. That's my Sunday before I started my new routine.
Yeah.
It's once you get into your routine, and once you can, it's amazing. Like any people out there that are having troubles, just go into a routine every morning.
Just pick some shit. Just pick your best thing. Like, and I didn't talk about it before, but I meditate as well every day before I come to work. But I can't. If I wake up early, I make a dope coffee because I fucking love making good coffee.
See, I couldn't drink coffee. Now I drink coffee, and that's a part of my routine.
Oh, routine. Yeah. So I'm really excited for that, and then I'm really excited to read, and then I'm really excited to make food. I'm really excited to meditate. Like, none of those things in my world are like negative at all. And then now, like Mondays and Wednesdays, I'm trying to do the morning jiu-jitsu classes. But yeah, just like how do you fuck up that? No. If you commit to it, and like I've been in bad moods, like woken up kind of grumpy and shitty. then by the end of it, bro, like fucking,
you're back into it.
Yeah,
your
done.
mindset's changed.
And I used to, man, I remember at times, this is fucking crazy. I used to Google, like, are there chemicals in your brain in the morning that make you negative? Like, I'm not even fucking joking, because
well, at least your endorphins.
Man, I used to wake up in the morning feeling like the most negativity and the most, now when I look back at it, it was self-doubt.
Yeah.
Like crazy self-doubt. And for the first few years of doing this podcast, like I think we were like 4 years in. It's probably the first 2 years doing this podcast. Like every podcast I did, I fucking hated myself. You know, I was just like, yeah, fuck yeah, dude. Like, and I literally thought by the time I kind of, you know, got going in the day, I'd forgotten about it and the doubt had kind of gone. But yeah, like 2 years ago, this podcast, 4 p.m., I would have sat in my bed, I don't know nothing about fucking football. Like, what am I going to talk about? But that's the first, when I wake up, that was my default setting. To the point where I literally just thought it was like a medical thing.
Yeah.
I just thought, oh man, maybe there's chemicals in your brain. And like,
I've been there. I've been exactly the same thing.
Yeah. Now, gone.
Yeah.
Couldn't tell you the last time I fucking woke up in a bad mood.
Even with my anxieties, like I said to you, like I have things in my head that I know when I'm stressed, because if I start having negative thoughts, right, I used to change my daily routine. So exercise was a big thing for me. Daily routine was a big thing for me. Once I got those two things right, and time to myself. Once I got those things right in my mornings, it sets your day. Like, yes, you're gonna have fucking shitty days. Yes, there's gonna be things that come up in your day after you've had your time, or you know what, you might have had a shitty day before. You had that time. I'd have that time to myself. I have that time to myself in the morning, and I start thinking about that. Okay, right, it's a new. And then I start thinking, right, it's a new day. I can self-correct it. I can correct it. It's like Wayne Bennett said to me. He goes, worrying is like a rocking chair. You can rock all night and you won't get anywhere. It's not. And he said, 100% of the times, if you go to bed with a situation that you can't change until tomorrow morning, so why lose sleep?
Yeah, 100%.
When I went through,
can you Google the Serenity Prayer, Rones?
When I went through all my shit, I've now taught myself to drop off to sleep really quick. It's not sleep apnea.
Yeah.
I've taught myself that, you know what, I can't fix something until I wake up in the morning.
Yeah.
And 9 times out of 10, I'm going to be awake in the morning doing my morning routine.
Yeah.
And the person that I've got to settle this with or help me get past this is probably not into work until 8 o'clock anyway. So there's no use worrying about it.
Yeah.
Until, righto, I'll train my ass off. Once I'm training, I'm thinking of things that can help that situation.
Yeah.
And sometimes you can train in the afternoons as well to help with the situation of going to sleep.
Yeah.
If it's a big thing, but
yeah, sorry. So this is like the fucking old prayer, you know. God, and I'm not religious, but God grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, courage to change the things I can, and the wisdom to know the difference. So that's always played in my head in terms of like, if you can change a situation, then you should change it. If you can't change a situation, that like you need to know what you can't change, and then you need to have the wisdom to know the difference between the two.
Nothing. It's so true. So true. That right there, people go through a lot of shit in their life, and they don't know how to deal with it. My only suggestion with all this COVID stuff as well, we've all got time.
Yeah,
we've all got time, and we've all got time. Like,
invest in yourself.
Change your mindset. Change the way you've been.
Change the way you eat. Change the way you sleep. Like you're stuck here for a bit.
That's right. So, and it's amazing. Like I said, I keep on saying I'm 41. I'm 41 years of age. I don't want to get to the point where I'm 50 and 60 and want to change. I change, and I look back and I think to myself, fuck, why didn't I change when I was 18? Why don't I do this? What I've been doing now for the last 2.5 years of my life.
Yeah.
Why don't I do that? Like, I teach my kids. Like, my kids.
Well, that's the big thing.
I teach my kids that. Like, I always ask my kids how they are, if they're happy, if anything's annoying them, and anything's sad. And they're young, and I'm not teaching them to be a head fuck. I'm just saying, you happy? Yep, mum and dad are really proud of you. Mum and dad love you. They're the biggest things. I teach them love.
Yeah.
And like, even with my kids, schoolwork, like I love that they go to school, and I love the teachers, and I love the teachers doing. I love that they're feeding their brains information. But like, I've taught my little 13-year-old. She does business studies at home. She gets coached by a business.
Fuck, that's cool.
Yeah, it's cool. Like she's a B student. She's not, but street smart. She's a fucking A+.
Yeah,
like, she reads people.
Yeah.
And she, like, at grade 4, she was selling slime at school because she seen an opportunity with business. Because one day, I'll tell you this story. One day I tucked her into bed and we had businesses, and one day she goes, "Oh, Dad, I want to have a business like your mum." I said, "Well, what do you want to do?" And she goes, "I don't know." And I said, "Well, think about it." Come back a week later and she goes, "Dad, kids are selling slime at school." No, sorry, kids are into slime at school. And I said, "Oh, well, that's cool." She goes, "Well, I want to start a slime business." I said, "Well, where do you get it?" And she goes, "I know how to make it." So she'd already Googled. She'd already gone on YouTube, not RedTube. She already gone on. She went on to YouTube, found out how they made it. The ingredients, it was Elmer's glue and fucking borax and all this sort of shit.
Yeah.
She goes, "Oh, how do you do it, Dad?" And I said, "Well," and I just quickly gave her a brief before I tucked her in and gave her a kiss on the forehead to go to sleep. I said, "Right, this is what you do. Tomorrow, wake up. I'll give you a notepad and a pen. Tell them what colours can you make it." She goes, "I can make it blue and pink." I said, "Right, perfect. You get 2 colours, blue and pink. What size?" I said, "The small and large." I said, $3 for the small, $4 for the large. Anyway, dropped her off at school, and I didn't think anything of it. Dropped her off at school, come back in the car when I picked her up. She's, and this is Harper. Like she just reads people and whatever. She got in the car. She's only grade 4. I said, "How's your day?" And she had a massive big smile on her face. I said, "How's?" And she goes, "Oh, Dad, I've made some orders. Can we go get some ingredients for the slime?" I said, "What do you mean?" She goes, "I got orders." I'm thinking 1 or 2. She had 15 orders for slime. She made $400, grade 4. And then the last day before the Easter break, 2 days before the Easter break, she gets in the car. She'd been selling slime for like a month. Got in the car and I was like, "What's wrong with you?" And she goes, "Oh, Dad, don't get up me." And I said, "What's wrong?" She goes, "Oh, I've been busted for selling slime at school." She goes, "I can't sell slime anymore." I was like, "Fucking bullshit, you can." I said, "We're going underground with this shit." I said, "If you fucking sell it to someone, they've got to put it in their bag straight away. And if they get caught with it, they can't tell me where they got it from."
And Dad is also going to grow these plants. It's going to take about 3 months.
We're shifting some of that as well.
And then instead of selling the primary school, you're going to walk to the high school.
And that's the thing. Like she's one of those, and like you can't clip the wings of your kids.
Yeah.
Like if they're good at something, even if they're not good at someone, you can still if you can invest the time and like you should with yourself. If you invest what you invest in yourself with others, mate, you see them just soar. You see them, they soar like an eagle. And it's not until you be negative, and I was negative when I was on the drink and all that sort of stuff. So even with this walk and being with Nate. He opened up a thing.
Because he's been through so much in his life.
He's been
like,
he's got
dad,
fuck,
and then his wife, fuck.
So much shit. And he just hit the 12 days.
That's why I reacted when you said his dad was on there. I was like, "Oh fuck,
big
that's
Milo.
awesome."
Milo, come on. He just had a stroke, the big fella, and I love.
Is he all right?
Yeah, he's all right. Milo, Tony, Nate's dad. He just cruises, mate. Like he has got such a beautiful family. Like his sister, his mum, like they're not together, but his brother, Callan, they're all just like and Nate. The thing is with Nate, what I learnt is time. He gives people time, and I'm guilty of not giving as much time as what I should to people, because I'm, like I said, I go back to that whole I'm in a hurry
mentality.
I'm in a hurry. Yeah. Get out of my way. Now like even to the point where we're in Cairns. We started in Cairns, and I said, "Right, we'll go down to this pub." And he goes, "Yeah, I'll meet you there." And I got there and I rang him. I said, "Where the fuck are you?" I was there with Courtney and the kids. I said, "Where are you, mate? Where are you?" He goes, "Mate, hang on." And he said, "I'm just having a coffee with my grandparents. I'll be there in half an hour. Just settle down." And then he come in with his grandparents and his mum and his dad was there. Came into the pub, and instead of what I would have done, "See you later, grandparents, I'm going to the bar to get a drink."
Yeah.
He made sure that, and it was only a little thing, but I picked up on it and I was like, "Fuck me, this is how I now need to live my life, is make sure they're right, and then I look after myself." Yeah. And I won't get it right 100% of the times.
Yeah, and neither will Nate.
And neither did Nate, and neither does Nate. But but you can't
hold yourself to perfection.
You can't, and
because that's when you start fucking having like the negative self.
Serious shit. Yeah. I know for a fact I'm not positive. Not 100% fucking the greatest. Yeah. And I know that I've got flaws, and I know they've got big flaws, but I want to change that around. And through to this walk and being with guys like Nate and meeting the people that I met in these communities.
Yeah.
Like they're not selfish. They're not selfish. They're selfless. They wanted to come and hear me and what I was doing, and then tell me their story and give me time. So in fact, them giving me time wanted me to give myself more time to them as well.
Yeah.
And like I said, being with Nate and just having him around and sort of got into my psychic and just makes me want to better myself. And he just
dude, since I've known you, like it's probably been a couple years now that I've known you, and like you've changed a lot. Yeah. Like it's been a real big, I mean, granted you were kind of on that wave like when we met, but yeah, like you were on the tail end of like you were still like drinking and partying and carrying on a bit, and then you were like fucking gnarly with the business stuff. Like the demeanor was very different, and that's probably 18 months really that it's been
massive.
Like that. And I mean, I remember you did the 3-day fast.
Yep.
And then I remember you did one walk from Gold Coast to Tweed or something like that.
Did the 100K. I've done 300Ks. I did one on Saturday.
Did you?
Did a 24-hour 100K walk on Saturday. That was after I got back. So I did it on Sunday. So a Saturday into Sunday, and I probably shouldn't have because my body still hadn't recovered from the walk from Cairns. Mate, the last 6 hours, probably the last 8 hours. Fuck.
Really?
Mate, that was
pain
brutal. I rang my missus because the first walk I did, sorry to cut you off, the first walk I did, I probably did it 2 years ago, and I started at 6 in the morning, so I was fresh.
Yeah.
And that's
when we met then. It was around the same time. It was just before that.
That was brutal. And then I did another walk where I started at 12 o'clock, so I'd had 6 hours of being awake or 7 hours of being awake, and then started the walk. But then I started my walk at 2:30 on Saturday, walked right through till 2:30 afternoon Sunday.
Yeah.
And I rang my missus. I had 6.5 hours to go. I rang my missus and told her to come pick me up, and she laughed at me. She said, "You got a job to do. I'm not picking you up. You're not giving up." And it took me from Cavill Ave. I got up there at 5:30, 6 o'clock, so I had 6.5 hours left. And it's roughly from Cavill to my place is 25 Ks. If I did that fresh, it would take me 4 hours. It took me 9 hours. Or it took me 8.5 hours.
And what? Are you just like limping your way through that, mate, pretty much?
My right leg was because when I was playing footy, I did my PCL on my right leg and I never got it fixed.
Yeah.
So about 8 hours in, 6.5 hours to 8 hours in, I could feel it, and then I started overcompensating because that was hurting my right knee.
Yeah.
And I still had 14 hours to go. 13.5 hours to go.
And then this starts tightening up, and then that starts going, and then
my left knee started going, and then my blisters, and then everything just started falling apart, unraveling at about the 10-hour mark. And then my mate owns the Pink Monkey, and I said, right, I rang Courtney. I said, Courts, I can't 24 hours. I said I'm ahead of schedule. I've walked 50 Ks in because I want. So my rules are with myself, I've got to walk 100 Ks. And I've got to do it in 24 hours. Or if I get to 95 Ks and I've got to 24 hours, I've got to keep on going until I get to 100. And if I get to 100 and I'm at 22 hours, I've still got to keep on going until I get to 24. So that's the rules. The rules are I've got to make the 100.
Minimum requirement is 100.
A minimum requirement on time.
But regardless, you're walking for 24 hours. Yeah.
So I said to Courtney, I said, righto, don't get shitty at me. I said, I've just spoke to Johnny who owns Pink Monkey. I said, I'm going to them for a beer because I just need to have a break.
Yeah.
She goes, well, how long are you going to be in there for? I said, probably 45 minutes to an hour. So
3 days later.
No, 3 days later I come out. I've just emerged. No, but
come from there.
So I went in there and had a beer with him, and my knees, it sort of gave me that little bit of recovery. And it was only a little bit. Then I took off again, walked to Broad Beach, and it just fucking going up that Burleigh Hill right at the end, Burleigh North, Miami, mate, it was brutal. And I was like, right, this is going to be really tough. The next 12.5 hours or 14 hours are going to be really tough. Got to Karawa, turned around, came back, said to Johnny, I said, listen, I'm going to go back in and have another beer just because I need to have a break. So he goes, yep, right, come and have a beer. Had a beer. Then walked to the Palm Beach Surf Club where I started. So I went Palm Beach Surf Club all the way down to Duranbar, the border. Yeah. Did come back in with Ryan. I walked with Ryan Hipwood.
Yeah, sick.
I walked with Hippo. Hippo come and did the first 3 hours with me. Yeah, first 17 Ks I think he did with me. And then dropped him up because he was over the border, so he had to be a Mexican, jump over the border again. And then I went back to, so then I walked up to Karawa, then back to the surf club where I started, then back up to Surface, then back to Palm Beach Surf Club, and then I walked home. So but I did like tracks in and out and all that sort of stuff to make up to 100. So I ended up going to 101 Ks in 24 hours. But 6 hours, 7 hours, in between that 10 hours and 5 hours, mentally I was tapped out. I was gone. And physically I'd tapped out 5 hours prior to the 10 hours. Like I was fucked. I was mentally fucked. But it's amazing what your body can do. But I tell you what, it's amazing. We talk about people who be negative to you and how it can affect you if it lets you. But with positivity, I let positivity in way easier than negativity because, as a kid, you get encouragement, you love it.
Yeah.
Someone beats you down, you go backwards. Yeah. So that's when I learned at a young age, negativity stays out there, but let positivity in. I was putting things up there saying I'm tapping out, I'm going home, I'm done.
Yeah.
I had that many people direct message me, ring me, and get me through. Like my dad come and join me with 6 hours to go, and he said, "Chris, I'm not letting you." He goes, "I'm not letting you give up." I said, "Dad, I want to give up." I said, "I'm fucked." And I was seriously...
And because you're like, man, I've just walked from fucking Cairns to the goal. Like, how much more of this shit I got to do?
But he'd seen me go through my tough days on that walk too, and he was saying, "Chris, I've seen you fucking far worse than what you are now," which I wasn't, because he was just trying to disguise the whole situation about how I was feeling. Mate, there was 80-year-old women walking faster than me, and 80-year-old men with those walkers that were going past me, and I was fucked. And it's amazing when you get that encouragement and you get that support, how much someone reaching out to you, texting you saying, "Listen, Walks, you got this, we've got you, we've watched the whole thing," and you go, "Fuck, if I quit now," well, then they're going to be sitting there going, "Oh, fuck, what?" Yeah,
because people are invested.
They get invested, and invested in a good way.
Yeah.
And it's awesome, and that's the human race. And if you can identify the human race for what it is, so there's, like I said, going back to there's good and there's evil. If you know that you're going to do something, you're always going to cop it. Yeah. Like Mother Teresa always had people who would dismiss her and be negative towards her. Yeah. It's human nature. Jonathan Thurston, one of the best players in rugby that ever done it. You
can't have positivity without negativity. And if negativity doesn't exist, you'd have nothing there'd be no antithesis of it. Like it wouldn't exist.
It wouldn't exist.
We need it.
You need it to realign you.
Yeah.
And when I have people that are negative towards me, it just realigns me. And once you do that, and once you become happy with yourself, and you can identify where you need to align and what you need to block out, fuck, life becomes so easy. Life becomes so good. It's amazing. I'm so happy with myself. I can look in the mirror. Yeah, I was a shit cunt sometimes, but now I go, right, I need to realign myself and go, right, I need to do some things that are...
And it's basic shit, right?
It's basic shit. It's basic shit. As simple as getting up at 5 o'clock instead of 7 o'clock and have that 2 hours to yourself.
So why are you doing the 100K walks? Like, is there something kind of significant in that? Like, it's just a point to prove, like a thing you do?
It's just mental toughness for me. Yeah. Because when I was playing footy, it was all about mental toughness. It was all about... Wayne Bennett used to take us to Canungra and do army camps for 4 days where you didn't sleep.
Yeah, I remember. I've heard you say these stories. They're fucking crazy, right?
Crazy. Like these SAS guys, they're tapped. Like these dudes are fucking tapped.
Yeah.
Those dudes who fight for our country, and they, some of these guys won't sleep for 10 days because they've got a target that they've got to kill for Australia, to keep our freedoms alive.
Yeah.
To make sure that there's no invasion from up north to come down and take over Australia. These guys are the front line to keep us safe. And these guys would come in and train us and talk to us about, survival and all that sort of stuff and being mentally tough. Now, because I've been out of the game for 10 years, I sort of found myself going back to being very mentally weak, taking shortcuts. Got involved with Fund My Challenge, these guys, and then we started doing challenges for Fund My Challenge, and I was like, fuck, I'm going to start doing 100K walks. I'm going to walk from Cairns to Gold Coast because it's all about mental toughness. That's all about tapping into a mentality that not many people can get to, and just doing that. Like, people go, how'd you do it? And I'm like, well,
you just do it.
Just do it. Yeah. Just get up. It's just something that has been ingrained in me for a long time, and training as hard as I can with these guys. Like, a couple of the guys that I played football with, guys, I couldn't do it. Bullshit, you could do it because we trained harder than these. Anyone could do it. You just got to put your mind to it. You got to set yourself up mentally to do something, and you'll do it. I don't care what it is, but 9 times out of 10, you'll conquer what you can say you can't do once you put your mind to it.
Yeah. No, dude, 100%. And I could see being an athlete as well. And like, you were like a famous athlete as well. Like, you were in the public eye, like on and off the field. And it's got to be, and I mean, I can feel the trappings of it all. Like, I could see how it would come on even from this.
Yep.
Like, we just went to WA and we did this race, and fucking we were like celebrities for a couple of weeks, man. Like, because everyone knew we were going there. Like,
Yep.
there was people that had never met us before, and that was like in the smallest possible example of it. And it's like, Jesus, you could lean into that. You know, like you could really take advantage of that. It feels good to have people fucking thinking you're awesome, and it's like, but that's such a crazy false economy. And if you spend like a career, which I'm kind of guessing you did, like you didn't really have that insight when you were in the thick of your career, like when it was headlines and tabloids and lawyers and fucking clubs sacking and all the carry on. You're just on this fucking crazy ride. You're
on this ride, and you back yourself, and then it stops, and it's like falling off a cliff. That's why a lot of sports people who have been in the public eye earn a lot of money. Once they finish playing, it's like dropping off this table. You know, they've got a wage coming in, security.
Fame, people loving you,
slapping you in the back,
anywhere.
buying your piss, fucking setting you, going to restaurants, not paying for a fee, going into nightclubs and having the best booth and fucking having the Sheilas all around you and the good sorts and whatever you wanted, you could have. But once you retire and you're out of the game and you're out of the limelight and you're not earning all that money per month, and it's dead set like falling off a cliff. If you're not smart with your exit strategy, which I was, like I saw my 2 brothers, both professional football players, one 2 years, one 4 years older than me, hadn't really thought about. Now they own very, very successful businesses now, but they struggled for 2 years financially because they had to go supplement the wage that they were on playing footy by getting a normal job, being in the real world. Now, I hate using that word real world because we are in the real world. We're in more of a real world than a person who's laying bricks. Not that anything wrong with laying bricks, but you hit this. It's honestly like falling off a cliff.
Yeah.
It's like someone sweeps a carpet from under your feet. You're falling flat on. Most of the guys fall flat on their ass, and they don't have the tools mentally. To adapt.
It's like you always get fucking knocked out by the punch you don't see, right?
That's right. And the thing is, if you can see that punch coming, well then you've got your guard up. Yeah. But you know what? Most of the guys are still here going fucking bang, bang, bang. Yeah. Instead of there's your guard. Right. Yeah. It's coming. I know it's coming. Let's set the play for when that comes and then throw a counter punch. Yeah. And I had the counter punch. I had my earth moving
in terms of business, but probably not personally.
No, not personally. But the NRL, and I'm only talking to the NRL, they give the players the tools to adapt now. But back in the day, it was fucking free for all. You see you later, whatever you go, best of luck. Yeah. Not even a check or not even a
watch.
No gold fake Rolex. It's just fucking they set you on your way and see you later, thanks. Then they bring the next crop of guys coming in. You're burnt product. You're out.
Yeah.
You're no use to them. But now they set the tools for the players that are, they give them the opportunities of going into certain things well before they retire. And most of the guys now are smart. Again, social media. A lot of the boys who are smart with their social media.
Like Minicello's fucking got like crazy businesses and shit going, like a lot of the boys do.
But he also too had Uncle Nick help him or guide him. I won't say but he was a mentor for him. He had Mark Boris. He's got these guys, true, Anthony Bell. These guys who are mega fucking successful. Yeah, and that's what rugby league, smart rugby league players do. Like that's what I found when I was playing. Yeah, and instead of going to these sponsors functions, some of these sponsors, mate, they're worth fucking billions of dollars. Yeah, and the reason why they're a sponsor of the club is because they love footy. Yeah. And you know what? If you show them a little bit of interest in what they do, they're gonna go, you know what, fucking walks, mate.
I got this contract. We need a couple of these dudes. You want to start this business? I'll give you the fucking work.
That's it. And that's where the smart guys go, you know what, fucking, instead of walking into a sponsor's function and sitting with the players they've spent the last 8 hours with at training, and network the room, get around and show some interest into what the sponsors are actually doing there, what their core business is, how you can, if you say, oh yeah, what do you do? Oh yeah, how long have you been doing that for? Automatically, a wealthy, successful person, not even a wealthy, a successful person in business will go, hang on, Walks, come here. Tomorrow, what time do you finish training? Come and have a coffee with me and I'll show you.
Yeah, yeah.
And then you go, right, oh fucking here we go, because that's what I did with my earth moving.
Yeah.
Got talking to a grass company that supplied the grass for Skilled Park. We need an excavator we need a grader. No, we need a bobcat and a tipper.
Yes.
I knew fucking nothing about it. I went out and spent $150,000 on a tipper and a bobcat. Gave it to him. Sat there for fucking 9 months and didn't do anything because I didn't know if I was dry hiring or wet hiring it, but I needed to wet hire it. Anyway, that turned to shit anyway, but that's a part of the learning curve.
But it's an example of like an opportunity that arose from, using the network tools and like kind of having that mindset while you were still a player.
Exactly. And that's where the players now, they've got more than ever with social media. And again, you can either use social media to a detriment or you can
But like I always say, it's like a hammer. You can build a house with a hammer or you can hit some cunt in the head with a hammer.
Yeah. I'd rather build a house.
Yeah, same tool, eh?
Yeah.
Man, there's one thing I was thinking about the other day too. Someone asked me about success, like being successful, and it was funny to think about because I was like, there's probably a lot of people out there that think they're not successful. Like they think success is a place that's kind of down the road. And I was talking. And
you're driving Ferraris and living in them.
Well, it's like you're not successful now. Like if you don't have this, and this done, like then you're not successful. There's like a definition around it, and there's like conditions. And if you don't meet those conditions, then you can't be successful. But I was thinking, I was like, man, I feel like you could, like, let's say you're a person that's like, nah, I'm not really successful at anything I do. You could build success into your day, even at your lowest point. Like at any point, at any time, somebody could be successful in their day. And then they do another day where they're successful in their day. And then another day where they're successful in their day. And you can literally build your own success. Like if you change what it looks like. Well, let's say if you've got no money right now, kind of in between jobs, blah, blah, blah. Like you could just paint the most negative scenario. And then you could be like, fuck, first thing you do is you get up, then you like lay in bed for a while, and then you're on Instagram for an hour, then you see a hot chick on TikTok, and then you look at Pornhub. So yeah, you're not fucking very successful. But you could have like the same dude with all the same scenario, with all like, bank account at fucking zero. That dude could get up, go for a run in the morning, like do something, just be like, man, I'm just going to try and help someone today, and then you go down, you fucking help a lady, load of groceries, like all this just kind of arbitrary shit that you could do that, like if then you looked back on your day as like, here I was day one piece of shit to like, I'm going to build success, you'd look back and you're like, it's a fairly successful day. Like I did a run, I helped some people, I did this, and this.
But that also sets the tone then.
Yeah. But so success is something that you can cultivate like at any point at any time, and you can like take success from these small things that you're doing. And I think that sort of speaks to what you were talking about with the way that you've changed some shit in your life. Like you've just slowly built this newer, more successful version of yourself.
Yeah, I think that all comes down that being successful for me is your routine and being happy with yourself and setting goals.
Yeah.
That's for me. Like I was very successful with my career, very successful with my business, and then I hit rock bottom. And then I just become sitting at home. I had no goals, I had no ambitions. And that happened for about 2 or 3 years, and I went, fuck this. I'm 37 years of age. I need to change something. And another big thing with success is if you can change your group of friends that once if you're in a bad mindset, you'll be with dead shits.
Yeah.
But if you take 3 of your dead shit mates out of your circle and then you surround yourself with better people, then you've already become successful because you're already making that change. It's all about change. It's all about progress. I think success is all about progress.
Yeah.
And progress in the right way. In a positive mindset. That's success for me.
Yeah.
But then there's also success. You got $1 million in your bank because you've worked hard.
Yeah.
But I think it also changes. for me is taking little things out of negative things out of your life, and you don't need to change everything straight away.
Yeah.
But it's just chipping back those negative things or things that drag you back, or an anchor.
Yeah.
If you have an anchor, well, then you can't be successful.
Yeah. It's right too what you said about people, like surrounding yourself with good people. The way that I think about that now is like there's just like a cause and effect, and the thoughts that enter your mind are based on this cause and effect. And you kind of, there's like for example, one of my best friends, Sam. Like, I'm a certain person when I'm around him. Like, me and him, when we're around each other, it's just us. We become like a person.
Yep.
Our conversations go a certain way. We enter into this mindset. Like, we're both super into writing. We're both work really hard in our business. We help each other quite a lot. So we become like this group thing, right? And then that influences. There's like just constant cause and effect. So the thoughts that are coming into my head when I'm around Sam are as a result of the conversations we have, the person that he is, the person I am around him. And then another example, one of my mates, Shane, he's another one of my boys, and he's my jiu-jitsu professor, black belt. We're very similar age. We're into the same shit. We both like smoking weed. Like, I become a version around him too. So I think people need to understand in a way, not need to understand, people don't need to do shit. No. But I think there's a way you can think about it is that you become a person, or like you become a group,
your surroundings
person. Yeah. If you're with 4 of your mates, you become one thing.
Yep.
And if they have like 3 shit people and you're like kind of on the borderline, like you're not really going to have control over the thoughts that enter your brain when you're with those people. It's going to go in the direction that those 4 people collectively will take it. Yep. So you are your friends.
You are your friends, and that's when I was in a shit space. I was hanging around with some dirtbags, like real dirtbags. There's some of those guys there's one guy, I won't even mention his name because he is a flea, but I was hanging around him, and I was in that mindset. I was disregarding my family. I was fucking partying way too much, and I was fucking just in a mindset that was now.
It doesn't even feel like you, probably.
It didn't feel like me.
Yeah.
But I fell into that because I was weak.
Yeah. Because
nothing in my life was going where it should have been. I took the easy option. I took the easy road, and I was like, oh well, fuck. If they're doing it, I'll do it, and I'll leave. I'll sneak out of the house and go party for 2 days and fucking not even think about it because I was weak, and that mindset and the group that I was with. Now, but there's some guys in that group that now have got away from that particular person or particular 2 or 3 people, and they have successful businesses now.
Mm.
But they just fell into that trap as well. But it's amazing when you change your group, and if you're with a really good group that makes you feel good, stay with that group. But if you have other groups or other friends that drag you down and make you not feel like you, well then fucking
And then, dude, it even comes back to the thing about the TV. Like, you become a person. Like, you're so influenced. Like. And I definitely...
Well, influence is a big one.
Yeah, but everybody, like, it's cause and effect. Like, this thing influences this thought, which influences this word, which influences this action. Like, we're so easily influenced. And, like, all we are is one influence to another. And it's like, man, you have to take control of the things that influence you. And the things that influence you are like the people you follow on social media, the people you spend your time around, your workmates. Like, I think that's probably the reason why in my life, like, I've never really had a job.
Yep.
I just refused. I just could.
Well, this is a job, but it's something you love.
I've never had a 9 to 5. Like, okay, so not never. I have had a 9 to 5, but it was for like 2-3 years when I was like 17 to 19 kind of deal. But I just couldn't be around people I didn't want to be around. Yep. Like, for whatever reason, man, like, there's a fucking severe mental block there. Well, and I was like, I would rather be a fucking bum than be stuck with cunts and have no fucking way of getting away from these cunts.
Well, this is my theory. Like, I obviously, I worked for someone when I played football, and that was for 13 or 14 years, but I still had the freedom to do what I want. Didn't have to work 9 to 5, was sporadic, but now I've even, like I say to my missus, I will never ever work for anyone else. I'll always have a business will never ever work for someone else to live their dream, because once you work for someone, this is my theory on it. Once you work for someone and they're living on a boat or they're holidaying fucking everywhere around the world, and you know what, while they're away for 6 weeks, you're swinging off a shovel or you know, doing accounting, whatever the job you're doing for someone is. Now, there's people out there that love that. They love punching the ticket from 9 to 5 and having their weekends to themselves, not having the stress of dealing with a business or what can go wrong with business.
Well, yeah, that's the thing. It's all good to not want those things, but then you've also got to be prepared to just put the motherfucker on your back and just drag yourself through the fucking drag yourself through the mud.
Yeah, and
that's pretty hard too.
And that is, and there's a certain breed of people that do. And you know, fortunately, and I think it's but like I said, I don't have a problem with people who go punch the ticket from not. It does not fucking. Because like I stay in my lane. I don't look over and go, oh, I'm better than them because I own a business, or I'm better than them because fucking this, and this. I go, righto, I've even said to my missus, I can't work for anyone. I'd rather sit on the couch and do fuck all and whatever. But I'm not gonna be on this earth to serve someone else. And it might be an ego thing, but I also like that you know, anything can go wrong at any time when you own your business. And you've got to deal. It's exciting. That for me is exciting, and that for me gets me going a bit, and that's where I sit with it. But like I said, you know, I'm not talking to anyone here and saying this. You know, fucking, I look down on people who work for someone else, but that's their choice. But
and the thing, I guess my point to it was just like, it's so important the people that you're around, and it's like, it is, man. You know, and like Ronan works here, and like hopefully we have a real good, you know, workplace, and then it's like so you can find like these good workplaces, but it's like I just think the importance that people need to place on just like doing what they can to control the inputs, because the inputs control the outputs, and that,
like you said, it comes from your group of friends, and it also comes from the idiot box. Social media, and unfortunately you can't have your group influence you. What you see on the news and what you see in the TV influences a lot of people, and we're experiencing that right now with fucking how many people at the start, now like I said, they're waking up to it, have been influenced, because like I said at the start, when we watched the news, that influenced us when we were kids because it was real, and now people have been influenced by the news that are so misinformed, and now we've got to go out and search the truth. And when you've searched the truth, you stumble across 1,000 other things trying to find the truth that mislead you down another path. That's unfortunately how we do it. Like that's what I do. I found, even during the elections and that, I found myself fucking being guided down one, and you know.
Well, that's the problem. Like, that's the fucked up thing, man, is that there's algorithms at play.
That's right.
So it's not even
just about to say.
Yeah. Like you can't even think to yourself these days that you're doing the research, because it's like, dude, I know, like my business is that fucking algorithm. Like I'm at war with the YouTube algorithm. I'm either at war with the YouTube algorithm or it's my biggest ally. You know, and it's just like Instagram and YouTube and all these things, dude. Like, they fucking give you what you click on.
Oh man!
It's so refined.
Even when you talk about something, you look on Facebook and it's there, and you're like, "Fuck!" I was only talking about that with my mate. Like, I wasn't searching that. Like, I wasn't searching fucking throwing midgets, but I was talking about it, and fucking all of a sudden, fucking midget high come up. Midget high come up. Fucking, you know, just shit like that. Like, this fucking fucked up shit. Like, the world at the moment. Like, I've had this. My twins are about to turn 11, and my 13-year-old, but they're very intelligent and inquisitive at that age. I've said to my kids in the last year, the world is a really strange place at the moment.
Yeah.
It's a fucking really strange. The world
wasn't always like this.
Wasn't like when I was your age. When I was your age, 11 and 13, fuck, it's totally different.
Yeah.
And it's only going to get weirder.
Yeah.
And that's a weird thing. Like, for me, I'm 41. Keep on saying I'm 41. I am 41. But it's fucking weird. The world is so weird.
Yeah.
And I find now, and I don't know if I've said it, but I find if I let the world I know it's a lot different from when I was a kid, and it sort of bothers me. But if I let it really bother me, well then fuck, I'm going to end up in a straitjacket.
Go read that fucking prayer again, bro.
That's right, and that's it.
Yeah. So the ice bath thing, I wanted to go back to that. How did you find that? Had you done it before playing footy a lot of times? Like, was it something? Because that's a pretty challenging thing to do.
Yeah. So the thing is, when I was playing footy and I was a young kid at the Bronx.
Yeah.
Like I used to get really bad shin splints, so I used to stand. You know those the little bins.
Yeah.
And you can put a black lining in there. It's like they're about that tall.
Yeah.
I used to put them on my legs. I used to stand in ice bars like that, and then it progressed to doing ice bars up to your waist, and then now you're doing ice bars up to your neck. I do ice bars up to my neck. I find that ice bars for me, at my age, are fucking a godsend. I love them. I absolutely love them. And the thing is, when I do an ice bath, I'll do it up to my neck, so just my head showing, and the first minute and 15 seconds is just fucking like you just got to tap into something in your brain that goes, don't get out. But then as soon as I calm my breathing down, close my eyes, I generally close my eyes and I'll calm my breathing down, I hit a massive high. Like I go into this, like I can feel for the first minute and 15 seconds, I can feel my body adapting. It's adapting and it's telling me to get out, but my brain's saying stay, because it wants to experience a high. Like it's a fucking high. Like I can feel it come into my neck and then it just goes into my brain, makes my brain and my face sort of glaze over. And then I have this for about 45 seconds. I'm in a state of euphoria. Like I'm in a serious state of euphoria. Like I fucking love it. And then working where I'm working at the moment at Fund My Challenge, they've got a massive big deep freezer.
Oh,
that could probably fit 2 people in it. But what we do, and Theo, we had a bit of a pissing contest. Like he jumped in, did 4 minutes, I did 4.5. Next day he did 5 minutes, I did 5.5, and then it became this whole I'll do longer and longer and longer. And I went away for a week, and this is before I started my walk, and he jumped in there for 10.5 minutes, and it was -1 degrees because he's got the gun in there. So I jumped in for 12.5 minutes, and I thought, fuck it, I'm just going to blow him out of the water. Mate, I nearly died. Like I got out and I was having anxiety attacks. Like I couldn't feel my body, and I was like thinking, maybe I've overcooked this whole shit. Yeah. But I love them. I like for my body and rejuvenation, and especially with the walk, with my hips and my knees. Yeah. Fuck, man. Even and the same thing with my intermittent fasting, where I fast for 3 days. Yeah. I had the same feeling. Like,
dude, I need to do that. I've been fucking thinking about it.
It's awesome. I love it. And I got Theo. He's the CEO of Fund My Challenge. I got him on doing the fast. He loves them. Absolutely loves them. And the benefits.
Fucks my mornings though. Coffee.
Yeah, I know. But just change it to a black coffee, to a long black. You can drink. Like Anthony Minicello, he got me onto it. Yeah. And Minnie was talking to me one day, because when Minnie was playing, he had back surgery on his back. He was out for 2 years. When he came back, still looked like an Adonis. I don't know, it must be something in the Italian bloodline that he had. But
he's half stallion.
Oh, he's racehorse. Yeah. Anyway, I got talking to him and I said, mate, listen, I've got to change some things in my life and whatnot. He goes, mate, do some intermittent fasting. He said, but the thing is, I didn't do 16 off, eating 8 hours, eating 16, like every 16 hours, fast for 16, eat for 8. I just went straight into a 3-day fast. Anyway, because what he said to me, he goes, mate, it knocks back all your inflammation, your joints, your arthritis. It's good for your arthritis. It's been known to eliminate arthritis with people with arthritis. He said, how I got onto it, he said, during my career when I had my back surgery, I was out for 2 years. Then I come back and played another 3 years after I finished my back surgery. And then when he finished, he wasn't getting the hits. He wasn't training as hard, wasn't eating right. And he said the scar tissue and the arthritis in my back were so bad. He said, I went back to the specialist and they said, right, Anthony, we're going to have to operate your back again. He went home to his missus and said, fuck that, I'm not doing that again. And he said that was torture. And then he started doing fasting. Like he was fasting for 3 days, then he would eat for 20, he wouldn't eat for 20 hours, then eat for 4, and then so on and so forth. And he said he went back to the specialist 18 months later with no pain. He was like, what's going on here? And what the body had done, it had
eaten away all the inflammation.
Eaten away the inflammation, eaten away he said he had about a scar tissue about that much that was on his spine that was rubbing and it was giving him grief, went away. And the surgeon went, mate, did you get surgery? Who did your surgery? He said, no, I've been doing the intermittent fasting. So he's doing it for 4 years, I think now 5 years. He's not as regiment as he was when he had his back problem because he'd read up about it. But my right knee, where my PCL, if I walked 5K, if I got up and walked, like when I started doing the waking up at 5 o'clock, going for a walk for 45 minutes, I'd come back and my right knee would just be swollen. Now, I know that my knee was sore, but that's after walking 60 Ks. But if I had done that without doing intermittent fasting, mate, I probably would have walked 5 Ks and my knee would have blown up and I would have jumped in a flight at Cairns and came home. And it is so beneficial for me. I got a lot out of it. Now, I don't know if everyone else don't know if it's all their cup of tea, but I know myself, and it's not in my head, that my body worked so much better after I started doing my fast. And it's really hard when you first start. Like the first 3-day fast I ever did, and that was straight off the bat. That was without even working my way into it. The benefits I got 6 months later were fucking through the roof. And I've got to get back. I'm not as strict into it as what I was, and I notice now, like, you know, my back's starting to be a little bit sore, and just those little tweaks are the footy injuries that I got through my whole career are starting to come back and giving me that little bit of grief. They're nowhere near as what they were before I started.
Yeah. Do you take any supplements and shit?
Oh, not really. I mean, if I talk to Greg and Pico there at Body Science, they'll give me something and I'll do some supplements. But they're not my daily routine. But when I was on my walk, on my 70-day pilgrimage, I used to, they gave me a lot of the product and I loved it. It was awesome. And I've sort of fallen away from that routine of, I'd love to be able to get back into it. But, just waking up. My routine in the morning was waking up. My dad used to make my protein shakes, put in the fridge at the back of the car, and that was my reward. When I finished my walk was.
Oh, so you were walking fasted?
Yeah, no, I was. See, the thing is, I wouldn't eat. Before I left, if we were driving back to where I finished the day before, and I was going past a roadhouse, boys would go in for a coffee and a bacon egg roll. I'd have 1 or 2 hash browns.
What was the best bacon egg roll you had?
No, I didn't have any bacon. So my routine was, if we went past the McDonald's, the boys were going to get their coffees and bacon egg roll. If we went past a roadhouse, the boys would go get coffees and bacon egg roll for breakfast. I wouldn't have anything. I'd have 2 hash browns, and that was it. And that would, so from 6 o'clock right through to 2 o'clock, I'd have 2 hash browns, or I'd have 1 hash brown. I wouldn't have anything at all. I wouldn't have any more than 2 if I did have anything to eat. Yeah,
right. I have been doing glucosamine every single day. So we had this guy on the podcast, Jeff Ballard. He's like an Australian fucking icon. The dude is in like 2-wheel sport, and he's 62 years old and fucking smokes me on a bike. And I ride a lot, and he's a fucking gun. And so Shane, the bloke I was talking about, jiu-jitsu, because all my fingers and stuff are all fucked up from jiu-jitsu. Like the knuckles get super swollen, and a lot of inflammation and stuff from gripping so hard. And then my shoulders and my hips, I fucking broke my hip last year. So I am feeling old.
That's right. Yeah, I was in here when you did.
Yeah. And I'm old. I feel really old. So anyway, Shane got me this glucosamine. He's like, dude, you have to take this for your joints. And I didn't take it. I'd have it once every now and again. I'd train, and then if I remembered, because that's it's exactly
muscle memory.
Yeah, it's not that I didn't want to take it, I just didn't think about it. So then anyway, when Jeff Ballard come on the podcast, he's like, mate, glucosamine changed my life.
Really?
He's like, he got to the point where he was in his 50s, and he was like, I'm gonna have to stop riding. But he's like, I really don't want to stop riding. And he's like, I need to do something. Anyway, Stephen Gall, who's he's another fucking legend. He's later in his 60s, and he is as fit as fuck, chiseled at 60. And
but they're all getting that way.
Yeah, well, that's be all of us. I hope there'll be a huge movement towards that. But yeah, so he said, Gawley told me to get on glucosamine. And I was like, well, if Gawley's telling you and you're telling me, I really need to do this shit. So anyway, I do a mix every single night, and I've been fucking so solid on this for months now, and it actually really helps. My housemate, my housemate's the exact same. So I do glucosamine, creatine, and magnesium. Right before
magnesium.
bed.
Yeah.
I just put it all in a little shaker, and then that's just my drink before I go to bed. And the biggest thing I noticed, like, first of all, my hips were fucking just. I'd wake up in pain this is about a year ago since I did my hip, and I'd say I'm like 100% now, like within the last few weeks.
Oh, really?
It's taken that long. It's been.
It is a change because I'd have the green veggies from Body Science.
Yeah.
And then I'll have collagen.
Yeah.
The collagen.
Your skin does look good.
the collagen stuff, and which is good for your joints and all that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
And my protein shakes, but then I run out.
Yeah.
And I did feel it because every morning, like Dad would just scoop all of my shakes, have 2 of them, and I'd have one at the end and that was my reward. Yeah. And it was beautiful. But then I ran out of my collagen stuff and my green powder, and I noticed a massive difference with 15, 20 days to go.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I have honestly, I've wanted to talk about it on here, it just hasn't really come up, but everybody should do that. Yep. Like the creatine helps you like your muscles get full, you know, it holds onto water.
It retains the water, yep.
But yeah, the biggest thing, so my hips would be really sore.
Really?
Like, but that was obviously from breaking my hip. Yeah. But that pain is like slowly gone away, and man, the fucking like my feet. Like when I get out of bed in the morning, it's from jiu-jitsu. Like people are like trying to foot lock, and there's submission holds that you do on your legs, and that it's pretty prevalent now. Like a lot of people are doing these leg locks. So every day people are trying to rip your feet off, and fuck, I'd get out of bed, and my housemate's the same. He does jiu-jitsu as well. We're both just like on the tiles, man. It feels like I've fucking got like loose marbles floating around in my feet, and I'm just fucking. Oh, it was the worst, man. I haven't had that.
Really?
All, like gone.
Well, see, that's completely. The thing. When I had my fasting, when I was fucking right into my fasting, like bang, like really, my joints, because like I said, just eats all you and even my fat content, because obviously your body's going right. This prick's not feeding me.
I got to get anything I can have.
This prick's not feeding me. I'm gonna. That fat stool that's been there for 10 years, I'm just going to start munching into that, and then it's full of energy. And
all the shit that's stuck in your fucking your intestines and stuff.
My mental clarity through the roof.
That's what I remember you saying.
My vision fucking through, but my mental clarity, like the first time I did it, so I've done.
Yeah, I remember the first time you did it. It was wild.
I was beaming. Like because the first day, it's habit. Like you walk in, you go to the fridge, you go to the pantry, and the 10th time I did it in that day, I was fucking frustrated. I was like, fuck, why am I doing this? My gut was talking to my brain, going, listen, idiot, fucking feed me. You need fucking food. You're gonna die. You're gonna die. I need food. Yeah. That's the thing that goes through your head. Yeah. Then I slept. Then that night I fucking slept normal, slept good. Woke up the next day, I was like, fuck. Went to go get me Wheat Bix because I used to love eating my Wheat Bix each morning. Fuck, can't eat it. So then your mind starts going, listen, dickhead, you don't need food. And then your gut's going, mate, fucking you're just having this internal battle.
It's just war.
It's a fucking internal battle the whole day, the whole 3 days. But the first day, 10 days, fridge, pantry, look at the fridge, go, fuck, water, drink of water. And then have a shot. And then when I got to 48 hours, I was 48 hours into it, and I'd spoken to Benny Shea, another guy who put me onto it as well. So I'd spoken about, a bit of a guru. Then I'd spoken to Minnie about it. I was like, Minnie, fuck this. From 44 hours to 48 hours or 52 hours, it was in the afternoon. Walked in, Courtney was cooking chorizo sausage.
Yeah, what a
and just fucking wafted straight in, and I got real frustrated. I was fucking frustrated, and I wasn't thinking straight. But during the day, I felt good. I'd only walked to the fridge 3 times. So first day 10 times. Yeah. Taught myself not to walk to the fridge 3 times. Then in the afternoon when dinner,
I'm hungry.
And I'm fucking hungry. Then that night, I fucking slept like a bag of dicks. I was fucking up. I was having like psychedelic dreams. Woke up in the morning, 5 o'clock, going, 3 o'clock, I'm going to die. Like my legs and my body were aching. I was like, fucking hell. Like, Minnie, why are you talking me into this? Benny Shea, why the fuck are you talking me into this shit? I'm like, fuck me. And I thought I was going to die. Laid there till about 4 o'clock, went back to sleep. Woke up at 5 with the alarm. Fucking nudged my missus and said, fucking take me to the hospital. I was thinking I'm going to die. And she's looked at me.
Really? You got that?
I was fucking in my head. And then I got up at 4:45 after laying there and fucking hate myself because I was just so fucking hungry because I'd never done it before. So my body was in shock. I got into full shock. Got up, fucking went to go to the toilet, and I sort of half stumbled and couldn't. Are you all right? Like, by that time, she was half awake.
So you're taking the piss,
Yeah,
mate.
you're taking the piss. And I said, fucking, right, I'm going to go for a walk to see if I can, beat this.
Yeah.
Anyway, walked down, did a walk, got halfway through my walk, about 20 minutes into my walk, and I was like, fuck, I've got to go have something to eat. And I was like, fuck, I can't do it. I could have promised myself to go the 72 hours. So by that time, I still had 12 hours to go.
Yeah.
Right? Before I could eat. Or it might have been even a little bit touch over 12 hours. Anyway, I was like, fuck this shit. So I went to the coffee shop where I usually get my coffees in the morning. So I had 2 black coffees. One long black and fucking 1 flat white.
Yeah.
Got in the car and I was feeling all lightheaded and shit. Drank the coffee. Mate, it was like a magic potion. And I just, no shit, from the time I got the coffee and drank the coffee at the coffee shop to the time I got home, which is about 6 Ks, so 5 minutes, 10 minutes in the car, I hit this level of fucking euphoria shit where I was on the fucking phone from the time I got, like, it was like magic potion. I just hit this level of fucking like I was on speed or fucking some sort of drug.
Yeah.
By the time I got home, gave my coffee.
Was that the first coffee you'd had?
No. This is
So this is day 3 coffee.
Just day 3 coffee.
Yeah.
Long black, no milk, nothing, because that breaks you fast. Gave my coffee to my missus. By the time she left to go to work at 8:30, she said to me, Chris, talk to me, be honest with me. Are you on coke? Are you on fucking speed? Are you on fucking MD? What are you on? Because I was just fucking... I'd gone from 2 hours earlier, 3 hours earlier...
Wanting to go to the hospital.
Call the fucking ambulance.
Yeah.
To...
Writing your
fucking
will.
bang, just fucking my... And this is no shit. Like, and I'm not talking fucking shit.
I remember when you did it. So I remember it.
And for 12 hours, I was just fucking bang on. Vision... clarity in my mind, everything was just buzzing, and it stayed like that for 12 hours. What let me down, Finchy, Minnie, I said, righto, what do I eat to break the fast? He said, whatever you do, this is the day before, this is the morning of us, because we're still learning about what I was doing. He said, whatever you do, don't have anything greasy, don't have potatoes, don't fucking,
just go easy.
Bone broth, gave me soups, But beforehand, because I was so hungry the day before, I went to the butcher, got a massive big slab of fucking pork belly.
Yeah.
Mate, this is no shit. I'd prepared it the day before, salted it. Fuck, I knew that it was going to be the crispiest skin ever. Put it in the fridge, salted it all day. Fucking, I was like, you're dead. I'm going to eat you after 72 hours. You're fucking mine. Patted it down, fucking no oil on it, salted it. Fucking the skin was that dry. He said, whatever you do, and at 4 o'clock in that afternoon, it's like, fucking, I feel amazing. Fucking boom, straight in the oven. 8 o'clock when I broke my fast. Well, I think it was 8 o'clock when I broke my fast. I rang Finch, Minnie, I said, Minnie, I've done it. And he goes, righto, what are you having for dinner? I said, mate, I've been cooking these potatoes. So I put the potatoes boiled the potatoes off so they were soft. So when you put them in the oven, they just crisp up. Mate, I fucking first bite of me pork belly, burnt the shit out of my mouth because I was that hungry.
Yeah.
Mate, from 5 minutes past 8 when I finished my first meal to about 11 o'clock at night, I laid in my rumpus room on my back, fucking felt that bad. Like I'd gone from 12 hours of euphoric feeling to 3 hours after I'd fucking finished my fast and eating shit to the worst feeling I've ever had in my life, cramping up, sick, dizzy spells, spins, and then got up the next morning, I rang Minnie, I said, Minnie, that's what I had. He goes, mate, whatever you do, fucking next time you go on a fast, just do it. Then I did the fast next time. I hit the level of euphoria about 36 hours in this time, so it come in early, and then I just hit moments of just like, I didn't want to eat. I got to 72 hours and I didn't want to eat, but like Minnie said, he said there's no real benefit after 72 hours or 54 or 90 hours or 84 hours, so 84 hours into your fast. You can go 96, you can go that long, but he said there's no real benefit.
It'd just be more of a mental thing at that point.
More of a mental thing. He said, yeah, you'll get benefit, and he said, whatever you do, don't do a 72-hour fast every month.
Yeah.
Do it every 3 months or every 4 months, and you get the benefits out of it. But the benefit I got out of it was, my inflammation on my knees and the injuries that I had with playing football. My lower back, everything went. My lower back, I didn't have any problems with my lower back. My right PCL, my posterior cruciate ligament, and my right knee. No inflammation when I was walking around and when I'd stand up. Like my lower back's really bad. If I stand up for 45 minutes or longer, I've got to sit down because I've got chronic back pain. But that all went away, and I was like, "Fuck, there's benefits to it. There's benefits to putting good food and wholesome food in your body that's organic or whatnot. I don't really live that life of organic fruit or organic food or organic meat, but if the choice is there, I'll have it.
Yeah. It's funny. I really want to do it. Maybe this will be the thing that really
you got to do it. And you know what?
I'll do 24 hours to start.
Do 24 hours. Ease your way in it. Then do 36, and then do 54. Then do 72. But like I've found the boys my mates that I've convinced to do it, love it. They don't live and breathe it, but they'll have a go at it. But I've found the guys that have got more weight, they don't hit the level of euphoria.
Yeah, right.
But the guys who don't have a lot of fat, they hit euphoric states and their clarity. But the guys who when they start it have got a bit of weight, they won't hit that euphoria. But the next time they do it, they'll have glimpses of it. But then when they start losing weight and they start getting into that routine, they hit levels of fucking clarity, of awesomeness, and fucking euphoric state. It's weird how your body works. There's so much science. I'm not a professor and I don't claim to know everything about the human body, but I'm just going on my experiences. And there's no bullshit to it. I just fucking I would never sit in a seminar and hold a seminar about fasting and all that sort of stuff. All I've just taken advice by a couple of mates. That are not in the medical game. And we talk about Pete Evans and all that sort of stuff and his way of living and all that sort of stuff. But I was talking to Minnie. Minnie was like, he goes, I actually don't mind Pete Evans with what he's talking about with his food, his political side of stuff. He can stay there.
Keep that there, but that's like Paul Check's kind of the same.
Yeah, I don't know Paul Check.
Yeah, I think he's pretty much just a similar dude. Have you ever done float tanks?
No.
I'm booking you in.
Right.
When's a good time for you? 1 hour.
Oh, whatever.
Yeah?
Yeah.
You do one this week. Well, what day is it? Probably not this week. Maybe next week.
Yeah.
The Freedom Float Centre in Burleigh, dude. It's the fucking coolest shit.
I've heard a lot about it.
Yeah. So I'll get you booked in for that for sure. But yeah, so I went, this is fucking super. I can't explain this, but I got back from the Manji trip. We drove to WA and back in June.
Yep.
Got back from the Manji trip and, dude, I'm like, my whole life, fucking chronic chocoholic, dude.
Yeah,
like I
since
can
I've been back.
You into it? Oh, dude, I'm like, it's fucking out of control.
Yep.
And I'd eat, dude, some nights a whole block of Cadbury chocolate to myself easily.
I'll
have like 4 or 5 in the fucking thing at all times, right?
On the way here today, I was eating chocolate.
Yeah, fuck, I love
Caramel,
it.
the what's the Cadbury one? The white one with the caramel.
Oh, Caramilk. Oh,
holy
shut
fuck.
the fuck up. Oh.
And almond, the chocolate with the almonds in it.
Almond Joy?
No, the Cadbury with the
we don't have almond
with
joy.
the nuts.
That's American. Yeah.
Almond. That's my go-to, and the hazelnut.
Oh, hazelnuts out of control.
They're my go-to. Fucking lights out.
So, with that in mind, I got back from WA. I have no fucking I have no idea why. I don't know what the fucking deal is. I got up, my housemate has soy and oat milk and shit, and I just got up and I was like, I think I'm just going to do soy milk in my coffee today, which is fucking absurd. And then so I had soy milk and then I had chocolate in the fridge and I was like, I think I'm going to throw the chocolate out. And dude, since then I haven't had a piece of chocolate. I haven't had a thing. I had milk in my tea the other day. Jess Dane was here and she was having a tea. I didn't have anything else to have with the tea, so I had a bit of milk. the fucking difference I feel in my body is astronomical, dude.
You know what? I drink 3 litres of milk a day.
Yeah, fuck.
I will sit there. My missus...
My dad's the same, man.
I'll get my 3 litres. I'll go my 3 litres, go to the IGA down the road.
Yeah.
3 litres of milk, and I'll scull a litre, put it in. Like, there's been days, there's no shit where I've drank 5 litres of milk. And you ask
that
me,
is
and
hectic.
if my missus walked in here right now, she'd say exactly the same thing, so I'm not lying.
Yeah.
When I was away for my 71 days, Courtney reckons that they went through probably about 4 litres of milk the whole time that I was away.
Yeah, right.
I fucking love it, but dairy is so bad for you.
Oh, man. So
sorry, dairy.
No, dude, I mean, it's a fucking bummer because we have like a real big milk industry, and like that's what I grew up in, like fucking dairy farmers. Like I'm North Queenslander, and yeah, but man, the difference is insane.
Yeah, it's
like
crazy.
I used to wake up in the morning like coughing up fucking all this shit, and like, man, just I cannot explain the difference I feel with just drinking soy milk in my coffee and not having any chocolate. It is wild, dude.
I might have to change it to almond flat white.
Yeah, dude, you know what's really good? If Bonsai...
Talk to me what's good.
If Bonsai is listening, I love coffee. Like, it's my shit. Like I said, every morning it's the thing I look forward to the most. But the idea of not enjoying my coffee in the morning, I'd literally drink poison. You know what I mean? But it's the same with weed. Like, there's probably shit that's bad with weed, but it's like, okay, well, the good outweighs the bad for me. So, like, everybody fucking deal with it. Yeah. And I was kind of the same with milk. I was like, the taste of my coffee in the morning outweighs whatever fucking benefits.
Oh, really?
That's how I thought.
Yeah, right.
But then, so the like Bonsai is insane. It's like a soy milk. I think it actually now tastes better. Like my coffee actually tastes better.
Really, I'm going to change. I'm definitely going to change.
Just try it.
I'm changing my coffee.
But
I'll tell you what else. Sorry, before you go on.
Yeah.
Mushroom extract.
Oh yeah. Life cycles.
Life cycle. The last probably year I've been doing that. Fuck me.
Really?
So good.
Huh.
So I'm not giving them a rap either because I know, like we're just talking about, it just reminded me when you were saying about it in the soy and all that sort of stuff. My life cycle stuff, holy shit.
Really?
And I'm not giving them a rap but the reishi is the sleep stuff.
Yeah.
And I sleep really good at the best of times anyway.
Oh, I got CBD here. Remind me when you leave because I'll give you some CBD.
And CBD.
Yeah. Have you got some?
Oh, the stuff that I had is all gone.
I'll give you a thing before you leave.
And mate, fuck the benefits of that, man. Holy shit.
Yeah. I'm still. So I've got this pain balm that I use. So I'll give you some of that as well. I had you know, I say my fingers they get real sore from jiu-jitsu. This one in particular is fucked. Like you can run your finger along the knuckle. It's just like a ball. It's like a marble in my joint. Yep. And that's like I grabbed a dude's gi, both hands. He just ripped it off and it just popped. And so the other day it was fucking killing me, and I got a bunch of this pain balm and I put it around it, and then I put a Band-Aid over it. I just left it there all day, and that actually did make a difference. Yeah. And then I've got the oil that you put under your tongue or whatever. Yep. And I mean, the thing is, like, I smoke weed every day, so like I've kind of I don't know. I feel like I'd have to be really honest about it for my own personal experience. I'd have to not smoke weed for a while and then just do that. I don't
smoke weed. I had the effects of that, and I was like, it's not like it gives you psychedelic. No, but it's just
relaxing.
And
but yeah, so everyone that I've given it to has said that it is quite.
I'll have to have a crack because I'll have a crack at anything.
But yeah, dude, just the whole soy milk thing. Like, I never thought I'd fucking change. I never thought I'd not drink milk. And then I did it, and I was like,
it's good for you too.
Damn, it's like, this is better. It's so, you know what I mean? So sometimes I think the problem too is like when you're trying to make a new habit, it's like you don't really want to make the new habit. Like, I didn't want to stop drinking milk.
I want to stay over here.
Fuck, and there was a part of me too that was like prideful. When they were like, oh, what milk do you have? Just normal milk, please. Like, there was like a bit of pride in that.
I'm not going to be a fuckwit that has soy, camel milk, fucking whatever other milks can come.
How the fuck do you milk an almond? But like, I didn't want to be that dude, you know. But
I'm trying.
But it is better,
okay, right.
And that's the fasting thing. You know, like you talk about the fasting thing, and it's like, he's probably right. It probably is better.
Yeah.
And that's the same as the 5 a.m. thing. Like, if enough people are saying that you should do something, same with meditation, you know?
Meditation's unreal.
Yeah, so you do a bit of that?
No, because my brain works. It's like I've got ADHD, and I'm just fucking full on, and I can't relax. Before I went on the walk, because I was Theo, he lives in Byron. He's got space yoga down at Byron. He owns that, and his wife Dunya are big into that. And he got talking to me about just go into your room, switch the light off, 10 minutes, close your eyes, try and block everything out of your mental. Just stay in there for 10 minutes. Lay down.
That's bad advice.
Sorry,
that's bad advice.
No, this is what I.
That's what he told you.
No, he didn't tell me.
Oh,
No, that's what I want to change. That's what I want to do is just have, whether it was meditation or what
You cannot block out your thoughts.
No,
there's no one that can control.
Or just like for me, it was slow everything down. So I used to walk into my room and switch the light off for 10 minutes, be in the dark, kids be in the rumpus room away from me, so I couldn't hear them, I couldn't hear the TVs, and it was just silent. It's like when I wake up in the morning, but I wouldn't close my eyes, and I was reading things and keeping my mind active when I wake up in the morning at 5 o'clock. But when I did it for 7 days, 10 minutes, just breathing in, everything out, just laying on my back as still as I could. I tried to stop everything with my breathing and just listen to my breathing. Fuck me, 10 minutes was a life changer. When I was away, Courtney, my wife, who's never does that, she started doing it, and she only did it for like 3 or 4 days. She goes, I noticed, because she's like, what are you doing? I'm like, 10 minutes in the room for that 7 days. Yeah. It was just during the week, 7 days. Fucking bang. Breathing and listening to you. And I didn't even know if I was breathing right. In, out my nose, through my nose, out through my mouth. And just switch. And 10 minutes felt like I was there for an hour sometimes. Yeah. And it was just to myself. And when I was playing at the Titans, we used to do yoga, and then this lady, she used to do meditation. Yeah. And it's the first time I just went into this whole fucking state of and it's never happened to me before. But I want to get back to that.
Well, did you ever have shit like that playing footy?
Yeah, that's what at the Titans we used to do the yoga and that. And
no, like the feeling that you got from that. You know how you just said you had like kind of that experience that you want to get back to. Did you ever have a similar experience playing footy, like where you're just so in the fucking zone?
Oh, every game you're trying to get in the zone. Like there were times when I'd play and I'd score a try and I'd be that into the zone, I'd beat 5 people and wouldn't even know that I'd beaten any. Yeah, because they were not there. Yeah, like I remember a lot of my tries, like if they come up on Fox or whatnot, and I'll go, oh, fuck, I scored 2 tries. Fuck, I can't remember beating 3 blokes scoring that try. I can't remember getting the ball from Lockie on the inside. I can't, like you're that in the zone that try line was the only thing you'd focus on. So everything else became oblivious. Yeah, and it was weird. And you talk to the good players, or you talk to the players that. Billy Slater, you'd say, right, how'd you score that try? And they go, fuck, I don't know, I was just in the zone. Yeah. And it's weird. Yeah. Like, you can watch back and go, fuck, I did beat, and I stepped there and I palmed him. I can't remember palming him. I can't remember him being at the side of me and me going past him. I can't remember beating that fullback the way I did. But all I can remember is scoring tries and everyone congratulating you in the crowd going mad. Yeah. And a lot of the times, 9 times out of the 10, you couldn't hear the crowd anyway. Yeah. It's weird how your brain goes, eh? Like it's weird where you go in situations like that. You go, fuck, I can't remember 9 seconds of my life. However long that took me to get to the try line, I can't remember the crowd was 50,000 people losing their shit. Yeah. You can't hear it. It just becomes you become so tunnel vision that you block everything out and all you see is that. Yeah. But before you get the ball, crowd's there. You know that there's a player there. You know that there's a player there. You know that you got to beat them before you get the ball. But once you get it, everything just goes tunnel vision. That's where I'm going to be. That's the end goal. It's like when I was with the walk, I'd blocked all that out. I knew I had to be 30 Ks down the road. I knew I had to score a try for the team to win. And that's, I don't know, just something in your head. Like, I'd love to sit down with a scientist or a
you can do that yourself, right? Like, literally. So that's why I asked you that question. I knew you would have had that experience, right? So you just go from being, this is you in fucking 5 minutes. Yep. I can't quiet my mind down. It's so overactive. I fucking can't do this. This is how my brain works. 2 minutes later, have you ever had this experience? Yeah, I had this experience every time I got the football.
Yeah.
So that experience is available to you.
And also too, when it's weird because when you're in that zone of scoring a try, you can be in that zone before you get the ball. And I often think about like the big players that play the game now, like they should be tearing people's heads off, but they're not because they're stuck in that moment where they're aware of everything. And it's the same thing as when you get the ball, like, I don't know, the universe must align when you're going to score a try that everyone just goes into it, because you can still get the same ball and be aware of everyone and get tackled.
Yeah.
But then once you're in a zone where you block out everyone and you're there, everything must just align.
So what I think happens, and this is my experience through like a lot of meditation, is so what you're explaining is there's no conversation in your head about your experience. So when you're standing at the line and you've got these players in front of you and you're like, okay, I'm fourth tackle, I'm probably going to get the ball. I got this, and this. Here we go. I'm going to fucking blah, blah, blah. That's a conversation. Like you're having a conversation in your head. That's what a thought is. A thought is a conversation.
Awareness.
Exactly. You're like, you have this thought come in. It's a conversation with yourself. You're relating your experience back to yourself. Like right now, so you go, I am here. This player is here. They're already there. Yeah. But you're having a conversation. You're relating your experience back to yourself. You get the ball. The conversation stops. And then that's what happens. The conversation stops, and
magic.
And then you're experiencing the experience. You're on autopilot.
Yep.
And the reason why, in my opinion, the reason why you score a try on the time when you hit the zone and you go on autopilot is because you're just purely having the experience that you're having. And there's like everything else. So like if you've that conversation about, oh, this is here, that's it. That's like an extra layer on top of experience, right? And then so wherever you end up, like your conversation with yourself, the more shit that's going on in your head, that's the further away you are from the actual experience, which like that's called the zone, right?
Yep.
So that you're using getting the ball as a vessel to get to that place. You know that place is available to you when you get the ball. And you only have ever related that to...
As a young kid, even when you're a young kid, you're relating that...
Yeah. It's a very desirable experience. And it's the same reason why I ride motocross. It's the same reason why I do jiu-jitsu. It's the same feeling that you get when you first push up and you stand on a surfboard. Like everything's gone. You're just so engulfed in the moment because the conversation serves no purpose. And if you are talking to yourself while you're pushing yourself up on a surfboard, about to have a wave, you've gotten now further away from the experience that's at hand, and you've got more of a chance of fucking it up.
It's fucking more things of thinking of what happens if I put my foot there? Like instead of going, fucking, I know what I got to do. I've been,
100%. So what you need to do, so instead of saying like I can't do this or this is how my brain works, blah blah blah. No, you're an expert at being in the zone. You've literally made a living off getting rid of thoughts out of your head and just doing the experience that was in front of you. Yeah. The thing that was in front of you was you scoring a try for the Broncos or for fucking Queensland or for whoever else it was. And so now, that's that experience, like that vessel. So that would be the vessel to get you to that state, right? But in terms of that state, if you look at what it is, that's just like your experience being unencumbered by any of the conversations or external thoughts or anything like that. So like, okay,
things can take you out of there.
Exactly. You can have that experience. So that's when you meditate, you're not trying to, like if you're trying to not have a thought, that's just another thought.
It's a layer on top of it.
Exactly. So it's just the meditation is you're not going in to do something. There's nothing to do in meditation. You have to do the opposite of doing. You have to stop layering experience. Forget English. Forget like gone. Just be that moment. Like you said, the crowd can be gone. Like that's why when I'm sitting down before work, I like to have the window wide open. My housemate, if he's playing, I like to have all of it because I don't want conditions. I don't need anything to happen. I'm not there to do anything. You just sit And then there's like the same thing. It's the same thing as getting the ball. Like, it just doesn't matter. You know, you just, you get in there. There's no more conversation. So that's the zone that you're trying to find.
And nothing better than being in a zone.
Yeah. But that's the thing is like, so that's why we're all so drawn to these kinds of experiences. And you'll spend all day fucking conversating in your head and you're having these thoughts and it's coming, and then you're trying to control the thoughts you're having, you're trying to control the bad mood you're in, you're trying to get in a better mood. It's just nothing to do. Like, if you could, like, next time you're in the fucking in traffic or in a super bad mood or whatever, just like have that in your mind. Like, just think about catching the ball. That same thing of like everything else goes away. You're just purely having the experience.
Also too, like, there's a thing that I was listening to the other day, don't sweat the small stuff. 2 rules. Don't sweat the small stuff is 1 rule. 2 rule. Second rule is it's all small stuff.
Yeah. Yeah, fuck, that's so true.
It is. Like, it's fucking, like, just what triggered that off was you saying when you're caught in traffic and there's a road rage, like, let him go have an accident or let her go have that road rage and fucking fuck her day. Yeah. Don't sweat the small stuff. I that was one thing that I've now put into my day is my wife put me onto don't sweat the small stuff. It is all small stuff. Yeah. Once I've mastered that, like, even now, like, I'll get frustrated with people in the car. And the only thing that triggered me was when you saying stuck in traffic and whatnot. Yeah. Is if someone has a go at me, I'll go, like, before I fuck off, give it back, I'm like, yep, sweet, mate. I'm fine. Yeah. I'm happy. I'm as happy as shit. I'm as happy as picking shit and twice as dirty. Like, fucking don't ruin my day. Anyway.
Well, mate, we just did 3 hours.
We had 3
We solved the world's problem.
Oh, mate. Awesome. I loved it.
Yeah, we'll do it again sometime.
Fucking oath.
And need to get you and Jono back in here. I know Jono's a busy man. Yep. But get the boys back in. Thanks, Rones. Thanks, everyone. Thanks, everyone, for listening. And, yeah, we'll be back for more Gypsy Tales at some point.
Thanks for having me.
Peace.
Fucking 3 hours?
Yeah,
Holy
mate.
fuck. Actually, my missus would be like, fucking, where are you?
What are you doing?